Yo, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Dostcast. मेरा नाम है विनम्र कसाना और आप अगर इस पॉडकास्ट पे पहली बार अपने आप को पाते हैं, for the lack of a better word, if you are new to this podcast, consider subscribing because we release episodes hard Tuesday or Friday. I'm still getting a hang of this whole guitar theme, podcast intro, etc. While I do that, make sure if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you give us a 5-star rating because we're the best in India. Having said that, आज के जो podcast guest हैं, his name is Saad K Mohammad. If you're someone who jacks off to entrepreneurship, Web3, crypto, Ethereum, NFT, all of those amazing things that are essentially Twitter bubble, तो तुम्हें ये podcast देख के मजा आएगा because Saad made 50 crore rupees by essentially sorting trash for governments and third-party subsidies. He's going to kill me because I'm butchering his job description, but essentially idea ये है कि इतना आधुनिक और खूबसूरत डस्टबिन बनाया साद ने that the government's loved it. And he's someone whose industry is so unglamorous, मतलब trash, quite literally trash, that no one is willing to tweet about it. He's not building in public, and yet he's the other side of entrepreneurship. एक इस तरह की side है that I think many of us want to see, want to hear about, but don't get the chance to. तो इस podcast में we almost go into 2 hours of his journey. वो किस तरह से how he has multiple companies and made a fortune by, again, like I said, believe it or not, sorting out trash. ठीक है? So the episode with Saad K Mohammad begins in 3, 2, 1.
I don't like people who complain.
Early on,
I can't stand people who complain. I can't stand people who complain from the sidelines.
On that note, talking about people who complain on the sidelines, not Saad K Mohammad because you don't do that at all. What is up, bro? Welcome to Dostcast. We out here on your beautiful couch.
Beautiful.
In an undisclosed neighborhood in an undisclosed city, in an undisclosed state. We're not even in India. We're not even sure. We're in India. That's how we're going to start.
We're in dreamland.
I had the privilege of meeting you in Goa, where you were a gracious host. I had the most divine, delectable cuisines. Had the privilege of chilling at your place with my friends last year, and we're here now in an undisclosed city doing undisclosed things. Most people don't know this about you. You make money in the 7 figures, and I'm just going to say that for clickbait के purposes के लिए ताकि ऐसा लगे कि भाई
Fair enough.
बड़ा आदमी है ना?
Fair enough.
तो but you don't build in public. You don't go on Twitter and write founders should do X, founders should do Y. On that note, I think you're an anomaly because most founders I know are voraciously tweeting about stuff. Even before that, let's talk about what you do specifically and where you're from.
Okay, so
और माइक को थोड़ा सा पास कर लेते हैं.
okay, so like in a small gist, if I have to say what I do, I build technology for the government.
Yes.
Or third-party technologies for, say, an individual like you, and you have an idea, but you don't know. India doesn't have infrastructure for hardware.
It does not?
Fuck all. It has fuck all.
Are we shipping stuff from Japan and China?
We are shipping stuff. We are okay. So here's the joke, right? The joke when we were banning the China imports, right?
Right.
Nothing around, like wherever whoever's watching this, look around you. It's all China.
Yes, my camera is also China.
It's all China. It's assembled. The max you'll get is assembled in India. We do not have the infrastructure to build any semiconductors. We don't have the infrastructure to build microchips. We don't have the infrastructure to build most of the shit that is actually needed for us to build technology. The max hardware company in India is assemble.
What are we good at then?
Giving our brains to the West.
Brain drains.
Yeah.
You think that's a real thing? Because people have mixed ideas about that. Some Indians think that it really helps their future generations because they have better quality of life. But there's several people like you who could have gone abroad but decided to stay back.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were to stay back here, what would they do?
Yeah.
They don't have the opportunities. Like I'll tell you, even today, as we sit here and we speak, I think that's the fact.
कोई नहीं. Let it be.
As we sit here and speak, I'm thinking about what if say for example, right now the top 10 companies in India, companies in the world, the CEOs of those are IITians sitting there. It's happened with Apple. It has happened with. You're getting countless news again and again and again and again. These Indians who are going there and becoming CEOs, like,
Right.
right? And what would they be doing if they were in India?
They would probably be wondering कि मेरी salad on your discipline कहाँ रखी है.
No, they would be wondering ki his mom would be sending proposals. Oh, this is the weirdest dilemma that everybody has, like our Indian parents, and this will all come back to that, okay? And
Yeah.
I'm sorry I digress a lot.
नहीं, that's okay. We welcome all digressions.
Okay. We Indians are brought up in a society where for 25 years, your parents decide everything for you.
Yeah.
Which school you go to, what are you going to study, what college you're going to study in, to the point who you're going to get married to, even today.
Yeah.
Right? And then you are expected to make decisions. We do not know how to make decisions. Have you realized that? Most Indians do not know how to make decisions.
And we glorify that by extolling the virtues of the collective family unit. There's a story from a Hindi NCRT that I forget, where the school headmaster has a mother who's illiterate, but she still does all the accounts of the house, and he's totally dependent on her. And that's, Munshi Premchand uses that as like a virtue. Kitni badhiya baat hai ye.
That's bullshit, dude. I'll tell you what I do, and I'll tell you what I do and why where I came from.
Yeah.
I spent a majority of my life traveling. For as long as I remember, I haven't stayed in a city for more than 2 years since birth. So my dad would keep shifting. So I've been in all parts of the Gulf. I've been in all parts of India. I've stayed. It's not in the military. He's just an engineer who's over ambitious.
Yeah, you're right. Let's actually switch off the fan. Thoda wo scene ho raha hai. Yeah, that AC sounds like the Terminator machine starting up.
Let's just chill with the real. You have beautiful air coming in.
Yes.
We're just gonna chill with the beautiful air.
You should wear the headphones though, so you can hear yourself. And
I don't want to sweat into it, but okay.
that's okay.
Huh.
We sanitize. I'm in that place where I have started saying we as opposed to I. When I first started out, I would say I all the time. But I just heard some pop philosophy entrepreneurship that we should say we, and it really works.
We makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
We makes all the difference in the world, and it's a collect. Especially when you're in a startup. Man, so much of an ego game. You know what the difference between the we and I is?
And I is मैं कर रहा हूँ, बाकी मेरे सब प्यादे हैं. We is like हम सब कर रहे हैं.
हम सब कर रहे हैं. And I'll tell you what difference does it make. A lot of people when they start out, right? And even when you have people joining in.
Right.
When you start having conversations, especially outside or in any space, and you start referring it to as I and not as a collective we, everyone else, it's a very, very subconscious thing that just starts dropping there because you want them to be a part of it.
Yes.
It has to be bigger than them. And it has to be bigger than you also. Like for yourself, the moment you put yourself there, like if you're doing anything where it's not bigger than yourself, it's something that you're just motivationally, it's going to drain you eventually.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge with new age content creators is that if you don't, I really think content creators should start a business firm on the side and refer to that as opposed to their collective channels. I've started doing that. Makes a huge difference because then we serve the firm. We're all employees of the firm. We have different roles, but we serve the firm, and this firm can take whatever mythological role it wants.
You know, surprisingly, I never tell people that I have a company. So like even here, like when I say I am an employee of my company.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing, like I have everything and I have nothing because I'm an employee of my own company. When I started out, I thought I would have all the freedom in the world. But the sooner you'll realize that when you do anything that is on your own, you are in prison of your own making.
I agree.
You are like bound by these because like now it's no more about you, and especially when you're doing something that's such a like when you're doing on an individual level, fair game.
Yes,
right? You can fuck off. I would fuck off very, very fast, very easily. I was a quitter.
Yeah.
Extreme, and I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, right? Because most people, anyone in my space would never admit this out loud. But I quit all the fucking time. The only other time when I did not quit is when it was not about me. When I knew if I leave, if I knew I quit, XYZ has a family, X has a kid, Y has left his job which he could have been paid double the salary in order to work on some stupid idea that I had built. When it goes beyond that I can't build anything when it's an I anymore.
Wouldn't you say like as the proprietor of your company, which is by the way called Flip
Tech Innovation,
right?
So I have 3 companies. One is FlipTech, so that's the smart bin company. It's so the
Smart bin company.
It's a smart bin company.
We'll talk about that later on. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that later on. We make kachre ka dabba. The second one is the R&D firm. So I design, engineer products. So for example, I would be the company that would, if you wanted to start a company which sells mic stands, you would come to someone like me, and I would design that entire thing, patent that entire thing for you, and then give it to you so that you can go and sell it in the market.
So you have a team of engineers who do that for you. You do the business and you do BD, and then they like हमें ये बनाना है.
They are insane. I am nothing. It is. I am the collective of everybody else's skills. Like the only advantage I have in my life is I am able to have a conversation with somebody, and it is hilarious because these people are the ones who are actual talent.
Right.
Like it's Catalyst, the second company. I met these guys. I want to give context to this. This is funny. I met this dude who runs this company. So he started this company 2 years before I joined him. I met him because I was hitting on his girlfriend in the bar. Okay. I don't know how much of that you can condone on this.
नहीं अरे हमारे में तो गाली गलौज होती है. You've been speaking English for the last minutes. It's fine. Yeah.
I'll tell you how I met him. I saw this beautiful girl and I was like, hey, I just wanted to say hi to her. And I went up to her, I started speaking to her, and this girl shrivels up in a ball, right? And immediate reaction to that is back off, like just move away,
right?
Or just apologize or whatever. Don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. Absolutely. I see this dude standing there, piche se, like this Rajasthani dude, right? And he's laughing his ass out. Okay? Yeah. And I saw him. I looked at him. I'm like, hi, because I realized he was his friend. I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's fine. That's my girlfriend. And I love that. Ask me why.
I think I know why, but I'll ask you why for the listeners.
First time I'm in India where a dude hasn't hasn't completely lost his shit.
Yes.
Because I hit on his girlfriend. How the fuck would anyone know? Have you noticed this shit?
It's very common, especially in Delhi. There's a degree of insecurity that men have with when they have hot girlfriends. Other men will hit on, and you take them to like a bar or a club where people like, we don't talk about singles bars here, but everyone's out there to meet people, right? And that's gonna happen. Your degree of trust, your quality of relationship depends on whether your woman will actually respond or not, which is why she shriveled up, because she was like, mera ye banda hai already. And then you gotta be cool and laugh it off. And even if someone does, you want to see
Dude, his response was, I know she's cute.
Yeah.
his honest to God response was, I know, and I loved that so much. We forgot about the girl. We put his girlfriend back in the cab, and we both just sat back in that bar.
Yeah.
And we spoke ideas the entire night.
That's crazy.
And a week later, I joined his company. That was how it happened.
What strikes me about all of this, we were having a conversation last night where we were saying that, you know, I haven't met my team, my founders, my stakeholders, my clients on Twitter, networking events, all those LinkedIn wali jack off posts. You've met them in bars and clubs. Yeah. Normally, an average, run-of-the-mill entrepreneur in India, whatever that user profile looks like, wouldn't hang out in bars and clubs unless they're ruining their life. But that's how we kind of met, right? We met in the F&B industry of Goa, like in between scenes, and that's how
it's work for me.
Yeah.
When I host you in clubs, it's work for me. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of that shit. But I will be there with you, having the best time of my life, because that's how I know how to connect.
Right.
How do you build relationships? When you go through a platform like LinkedIn, there's a barrier.
Yeah.
When you go through a platform like a social gathering, it's a big dick show. You've been there recently, right? Like it's like mera bada hai, tera bada hai. So when you're in a bar, when you're having fun, your guards are down.
Yeah.
You're able to have legitimate relationships with people.
Yeah. Your job description is not written on your forehead.
But I always ask. My first 3 questions to anyone I meet is, what's your name? Which I immediately forget as they tell me.
And then you politely ask, so it's always like, I love you, but I totally forgot your name.
No, I would never say that. I would just say, bro, तेरा पूरा नाम क्या है? Phone number पे add करना है.
अबे यार, I'm just saying everyone has that. Everyone has that way of like passing through that impoliteness. You can never say like तेरा नाम भूल गया, नाम बता अपना. You don't never do that. Yeah.
Second is, what do you do?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you do is very important to me, because I am like, no matter who it is, I don't care कौन है. I will know more about your friend who who you've known for 10 years in that one interaction when I meet him, about his actual passion, what he wants from life, and where he wants to get, and what does he currently do.
But this is, by the way, this is happening in a loud bar where there's loud music.
Yes.
You're projecting your voice, and this person has to kind of give you a 10-second elevator pitch कि मैं ये करता हूँ.
And he won't even know he's doing it.
Yeah, like how? I'm just confused. Like,
so number one, it helps when they're drunk.
for sure.
It honestly, when you're drunk, it's very easy to talk about it.
Everyone loves happy, sober people as a
Yes.
drunk person.
Okay, and second thing is, I'm not trying to show that person up. So
Right.
what happens? I'll tell you how it works, right? So how most people approach is, मैं ये करता हूँ, तू क्या करता है? Worst possible way to talk to anyone. I believe in making a complete and utter fool of myself.
I think that's the way that gets people to open up.
Because now they don't have to pretend.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everybody's a fucking idiot. Everybody has, bro, because no matter how serious anyone, like you look at anyone in your life, they might look serious.
Yeah.
There is someone he's a chutia with. You want to be in that position that he's chutia with you.
Yeah. Have you watched that video of Mahendra Singh Dhoni with his friends? There's a hilarious video. Mahendra Singh Dhoni hits 183, 186, goes back to Jharkhand and says, "Arey chuti, बहुत बढ़िया दिख रहा है रे तू."
I've seen that.
And then Mahendra Singh Dhoni resists for like 5-10 minutes. अरे कह रहा है यार क्या कर रहा है वो तरीके से, you know, like making. But that's the thing, right? Even he can kind of let go of that garb.
Yeah.
But with his friends, who he trusts.
And in business, and I'm not talking about corporates. I'm not talking about MNCs. I'm not talking about a job here.
Entrepreneurs.
I'm talking about entrepreneurs. I'm talking about people who are trying to build something. I'm talking about connecting with your co-founders, connecting with your first division team, that is people, or your investors.
Right.
These people are not joining you because you have something. These people join you because they believe, number one, that you are capable of getting there. Number one. Number two, they trust you. These are the only two factors. And that can only be built once the guard is down. You can't build these things on on LinkedIn.
Yeah, there has to be a degree of likability and trust, because I mean I've had several people reach out to me to do something, maybe even start a business together along these lines, but it's come through an email, and they almost accept an immediate yes or no response. I will have to spend a lot of time vetting you, figuring out your background, and even then I don't know what skeletons you have in your closet.
You never know.
Yeah, and I think the other thing also is reliability. Do you expect this person to wake up and say yes every single day, every single second? The same way जैसे तू बात कर रहा था कि यार मेरे सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, उनकी नौकरियां हैं, उनकी ज़िंदगियां हैं. कल को मैं आगे बोलता हूँ यार fuck यार मेरे को काम नहीं करना, मेरा मन नहीं है आज. Everyone in the nexus, everyone in your chain suffers. In your network. Yeah.
Everyone, man. Like, I'll tell you, fuck, this is something that, bro, for every kid who comes and tells me meko entrepreneur banna hai because it's a fucking trend, I tell him, I want to fucking hold that person, tell him, please don't.
Yeah.
Because this shit is traumatic.
Yeah.
On like pandemic हुआ था bro, 2 साल. किसी इंडिया में कोई ऐसा धंधा नहीं है जिसके पास रनवे था 3 महीने से ज्यादा. 3 महीने से ज्यादा किसी को औकात नहीं था. चल 6 महीना. To tell these boys, you can't pay them.
Yeah.
A part of me stopped making content a lot is because I used to feel guilty.
I'm out here performing, parading while those guys are suffering. Yeah.
Because like and that too, I have dilemmas in the sense where some of my companies are doing good. Some of them are not doing so good. I have a responsibility to all of them though.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the worst fucking feeling when you're not able to pay the people who work for you, who have dedicated their time again and again and again and again. I'll tell you, I have had And the guys who work with me are amazing. And I'm not saying this for the sake of, like, they have worked through not being paid. I remember once Goa started. And this is my first massive project. Right? Like,
Right. So for context, we have to talk about what was happening in Goa. Because,
I run a company called FlipTech Innovation. It's basically a smart bin company.
Yeah.
So the idea was to be...
So just to stop again, you have these smart dustbins in and around Goa that have waste sorting, that have...
Can you just put up a picture here?
Yeah. We can have a picture. Yatharth, can we have a picture right here?
Right here. I'm going to give you a video or a picture, or you can just flash it.
Yes, we'll do that. But for the listeners, I want to describe it. It's got a screen, right? It's got a charging port.
It's got...
मतलब एकदम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डस्टबिन है, मजेदार, बड़ा सा. It's not like some small डब्बा प्लास्टिक का जिसपे गंद चिपका हुआ होता है बाहर का. So when you touch it, you have to go wash your hands.
Man, that dustbin's cleaned with more chemicals than you would clean in your house.
Yeah, it's very good. I've seen it.
Like it has to be, right? Like the idea was how, because when you see a public bin, the whole thing was, when you see kachre ka dabba bahar, nobody cares to clean it for one reason, because nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
How do I force myself? By the way, I'm not an eco fucking maniac. I'm not like an environmentalist that cares about the environment. I'm not one of those guys. Don't get me wrong. Like, I didn't go into this space thinking, oh fuck, my green revolution. Nahi. But I'm a businessman.
Yeah, you didn't do a fast when the Amazon forest was burned like myself. Yeah.
Sure. मेरे को ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ा है, ठीक है? But how do I get someone like me to care?
Yeah.
Someone who wouldn't care. How do I get myself, Saad K Mohammad, who never gave a fuck, to give a fuck to make sure that it's clean, right? And then when I realized is advertising. Because if it's dirty, no brand will ever advertise on that. So I have to force myself to keep it clean every single day. Otherwise, I will lose a Conrad. I will lose a Hilton. I will lose a Tanishq. I will lose a whatever the fuck.
These are all brands that advertise on your dustbins in and around Goa, and then now several states expanding.
Currently they are my clients. Currently, just Conrad just bought one of our advertisers.
Conrad Hilton is still alive?
Hilton just finished. Conrad just took another one.
Okay, Conrad is the name of the group. Conrad Hilton himself has been dead for long.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I saw him in Mad Men. So I was like, that was in the 70s. How is that? But that's crazy. I think the perception, maybe अगर किसी dustbin को देखता हूँ ना, it looks so filthy, right? That there is trash outside the trash can that any dignified person would be like, यार नहीं करते. That is why, like, there's all those conversations in cars where you and your friends are walking by. There's one guy who's like, नहीं हम डस्टबिन में फेंकेंगे, बाकी बोलते हैं क्या फर्क पड़ता है यार, बहुत गंदा है, कहीं भी फेंक देते हैं. And I think it's also responsible because we never really took care of how our dustbins look like, or how trash is segregated. That's a problem in this country.
The problem is we expect people to care. Okay. Have you met anyone in the have you ever met anyone in the sustainable space?
I have met a couple people in the fashion sustainable space, but not...
Same thing.
Yeah.
Their entire conversation is people should buy this because it is good for the environment. Why?
Yeah, there's no
value. There's no value, actual value proposition. Like from a consumer perspective, there's no actual value proposition.
Yeah.
तुम मेरा टूथब्रश खरीदो 150 रुपए का वुड वाला, which looks ugly as fuck because you should care about the environment. I don't. I've already established that the last 100 years. I don't. The conversations have to shift, which we haven't still shifted. There's only like one or two companies which are like, fuck the fact that it's sustainable, that I'm doing because me as an entrepreneur, I'm conscious. You should buy this because XYZ.
Yeah, it's like you're guilt signaling. Like,
and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Till they go beyond that. Till these companies, you know why we don't have more bio-safe or sustainable products that are going big?
Why?
The narrative is wrong.
What's the narrative? It's good for the environment, right?
Their narrative is people should care.
Yeah.
It's like it's going like तुम उनके base core understanding से तुमको मालूम है लोग चूते हैं.
There's also one thing that I want to add here, Jordan Peterson says this about like, कि यार how the US blames India and China कि यार ये लोग गंद कर रहे हैं दुनिया भर में. कह रहे बहनचोद उनको grow करना है. उन्हें लौड़ा फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ये देश बढ़ना चाह रहे हैं आगे. Like we will care about sustainability after we've like made money to care about that. We're at tier 3 mentally. You know what I mean? We can't like, oh, I can care about the environment and then so on and so forth and all. Like bro, घर में खाना नहीं इंसान का.
But how do you fight the wars you don't see?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's the whole game, right? You're asking someone who has been. That's what Jordan Peterson was talking about. Like,
right.
Because we can't see it. Like अपना प्रॉब्लम अभी malnutrition से निकलना है. अपना प्रॉब्लम अभी कॉन्डम नहीं यूज हो रहा है अपने साथ. Like you get what I say?
Yes.
Like अपना प्रॉब्लम अलग है.
Yeah, these are very high degree problems that you can have once your stomach is full. It's like, what is the analogy? The US is a dog that is so full that it's eating its leg out of boredom.
And let's be honest, me and you are a part of the privileged 10%.
For sure.
Like हम लोग एक्सट्रीम प्रिविलेज के साथ अपना बॉम्बे में घर में बैठ के हम लोग पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है दैट द पीपल फ्रॉम द लोअर स्पेसेस नीड टू लिसन टू व्हाटएवर द फक. व्हेन आई से लोअर स्पेसेस, डोंट गेट दैट शिट आउट. व्हेन आई से पीपल हु aren't from the privileged space. I didn't come from privilege.
Yes.
I made myself in the privilege that I am today. But I remember having conversations like money doesn't matter.
Who said that?
I said that. I used to say that.
So wait. So this is interesting. So let's go all the way back. You come from a quite remote, unknown place to most people. Some place in Bangalore.
Unknown place to most North Indians.
Yes.
I think so. And you North Indians are racist.
I will say the same for you as well, my friend. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
Racist.
ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. I specifically said Mangalore. I said Mangalore. And when you send me a video, I said, oh, how do you know MK Stalin? I'm like, bitch, I read the news. I don't say South India. I say all 4 or 5 states distinctly.
Wait, where's the lighter?
That's a lighter.
इधर आ गया तेरे पैर के नीचे.
Racists don't hide lighters.
Hey, but you have to admit, North India is a little racist.
यार ये तो हम ये भी बोल सकते हैं. ये देखो ये this runs both ways. ऐसा नहीं होता है. I will say there is a slightly bigger bit of stereotyping in the north because this whole, well, at the same तू भी तो North Indian कह रहा है. North India के अंदर ये कश्मीरी भी आते हैं.
South Indians are papa nice, humble people.
Nah, that's just something you're using as like a blanket to hide your crimes and your sins कि हम अच्छे लोग हैं. तो मतलब इससे क्या हो गया? तुम चावल खाते हो, हम रोटी खाते हैं. Like उससे क्या हो गया? एक दिन रिवर्स कर लेते. We should start like a whole thing where someone from Delhi goes to live somewhere else and then vice versa. देखते हैं. Also you said North Indians. You really mean Delhi? You want to get specific. North India में पंजाब, हरियाणा, उत्तर प्रदेश,
Delhi.
बिहार आता है.
I'm specifically talking about Delhi. But surprisingly, most of my closest people have come from Delhi. Which is super weird for me.
I think the air there just makes you want to be ambitious. It's
Delhi.
just, I have this theory. This is just my theory. The environment is so hostile at all times that you naturally develop a fighting spirit. There's people always messing with you at every. Listen, Mumbai mein, the average person on the street is nice.
Yes.
In Delhi, that is not the case. I bastardize my speech. The good thing about stereotypes is, done properly and integrated and inherited and internalized properly, they can do wonders for you. There's a natural sense of self-confidence that and loudness that comes with adhering to the stereotype कि हम दिल्ली से हैं. But if you were born in Delhi, you'd be the same, right?
Probably.
You're right.
I'll be louder.
Yeah.
I think I'm already loud enough.
Yeah, but loudness works.
I'm too loud for where I come from.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm too loud for where I come from.
I can't shut up, for example. Like I was called Chatterbox in my school life because I couldn't shut up. So I do a podcast.
I mean, you make a living out of talking, so I think that's just worth it.
Yes,
right?
but like I want to get back to Bangalore, right? So you had notions around money कि पैसा बेकार की चीज़ है और कोई फायदा नहीं है.
I was lying to myself.
Yeah.
I think I was lying to myself, and I think most people lie to themselves about money. We villainize money, but we all crave for it.
That's so true.
We villainize money all the fucking time, and how. So I had to change the way I would put it. So money is important, but money is not what I'm after.
Yeah.
Money is for me now a byproduct of my success.
Right.
So like again, I don't believe in the narrative of, you know, when you ask somebody what do you want to do in life, they're like, make a lot of money. Bullshit.
Yeah.
My narrative is, I want to build something that actually affects change, and I know for a fact when I do that, I'm going to make a lot of money.
Right.
Money is the byproduct of something larger.
Excellence.
It's not excellence. It cannot be the goal itself.
Right. Because what do you do when you have cash in your hand? वो खत्म हो जाता है ना वहाँ पे कि मेरे को पैसा कमाना था, पैसा हाथ में अब.
But पैसे कमाओगी कैसे? If you don't have a goal and your goal itself is money, you don't know how to get there.
That's why people go for hacks. इस महीने ये कर लेता हूँ, इस महीने वो कर लेता हूँ, which is okay to start with, but it's not something that sustains. And you know about it, right? Like when I made my first rupees, I was like, अच्छा, अब मैंने पैसा कमा लिया. What do I do with it? कुछ खा लेता हूँ. Didn't know about investing. ये कर लेता हूँ. It has to be something more. It has to be something that gives you a purpose, something to wake up for in the morning. And that cannot just be, I'm not going to wake up for Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi's face every single morning. I'm going to look at this note, smell it, like paise hain. You know, this whole...
It fades away, man.
Yeah.
Like, paisa kitna paisa? Like, I remember when I started out, I'm like, मेरे को 40,000, 30,000 महीने का मिल जाए, तो मैं क्या किंग के लाइफ जी सकता हूँ? अभी हिला के निकल जाता है ब्रो उतना पैसा. Like, let's be honest. let's
ये आदमी कह रहा है इसकी इस पर हम 40,000 रुपए की. ठीक है.
No, because see, here's what you need to understand. The more money, if you think that if you make more money, you will spend less, I promise you there are newer ways to spend more money.
Yeah.
For example, the house that I'm living in. I don't need this.
Yeah. You go from needs to desires real quick.
Yeah, you go very, very quick. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's a you need to kind of make yourself a little bit more conscious. But the reason why I'm saying this is because when I started out, it was a way of rationalizing garibi. Because I had to feel good about myself.
Right.
I had to feel good about the fact that I was traveling 12 hours to go from one city to another city, which would probably take me an hour in the flight.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pay for that. So I had to go in the bus. And I had to go to I started out with a house that's probably as big as this hall with 6 people, which we would take turns sleeping because the 3 boys would take night shift and the 3 boys would take the day shift.
So your father wasn't as rich?
My father is rich.
Rich now?
No, So I did engineering. And I got kicked out.
Yes.
And then my dad is like, no, I will put you in my engineering college. And I went there and I just decided not to. One of the only I'm very proud of this only one.
Yeah, could you turn that to silent? Yeah, offline.
I did, one of my only things is I was able to make this. I knew what I don't want and I knew how to act on it. You know, a lot of people spend years on just trying to make a decision.
Yeah, people are not fast with their decisions.
People are not fast with their decisions. People have questioned me. When I was growing up, I've heard people say, you're doing so many things and you're failing at so many things. I'm like, fuck, thank God. The people who are not failing, I feel bad for them because you are not trying enough.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you not failing?
वो लोग वही हैं जो जब swimming pool होता है school के अंदर. One of my, when I was younger, my primary school had a swimming pool. Those are the kids who would always swim in the shallow water where it's safe. And they would be afraid of the deep.
Man, if today anyone asks me, क्या करो, जाके fail हो. Just keep fucking. That's the only. There's no other way to know what you're capable of if you don't fail. If you haven't. Look at your life. Look at your life in retrospect and check your failures. If you haven't failed, you haven't tried enough.
That's true. And I think the more you fail, the more resilience you get, the more confident there's a fine line though. Too much failure without the proper narrative that goes with the failure can do people in.
But that's because you're not learning from your failures.
Right. Which is what I mean. Like, for example, several people reach out to me and say, we did 4 podcast episodes. We don't know what to do next. We can't get guests. I'm like, do you know how many emails I send per day? I send 15 emails. I get 1 reply 1 day of the week. Most people do not reply, do not care.
But that's when you started out. Now I don't think you have the same problem.
Now it's a little bit better. Now like I have a solid 50% response rate. But even then, I still get surprised and I still get humbled. But I don't stop. I don't go and say कि oh ये नहीं आना चाहिए. बहन जो मेरा धंधा मेरे को काम चलाते रहना है. मैं करता ही रहूँगा इसको. मैं shamelessly It took me like 6 months to get Manu Joseph, who's made Netflix Decouple, on the podcast. I relentlessly texted him, sir, आज करते हैं. कह रहे नहीं, फरीदाबाद में नहीं करूँगा, गुड़गांव में कर लो. Finally, great, I'll do it. But the point is,
you have to keep trying.
like, okay, he didn't come to my podcast, bro. I'm stopping everything. मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा. Like, no.
Man, that's so annoying. And I don't know about how many complaints you get in a fucking day. When I allow a person to complain once.
Yeah, it's like a swear jar. एक बार.
एक ही बार. Like you can. If you are talking to me on the internet, if you're like I have 1,000 people following me, of which 500 of them are people who kind of fell upon me because of the content I did on Avalon for quite some time.
Yeah, you were on the Avalon Scenes app. You had a community called Kafi Sexy, about networking. Yeah, great community.
About networking, startups, whatever, right? And I allow them to complain to me once. Because once is what you need to get it out of your system. You complain more than once, go fuck yourself. Because what are you talking about? People come and tell me, oh, आपका scene अलग है, आपको ये lauda. Like you think I come from, bro, most people's biggest mistake is they look at me and they think privilege.
Yeah. Because you speak English, because you've learned the ways of the city. Is that what it is?
Fuck you. Like that's it. I don't know. It's a persona. I don't know what it is, but honest.
But did you grow up speaking English?
Yes.
Did you know how to do salsa, for example?
Yes.
Even while you were living in this room with 6 other people.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that.
I was like, see, I've been exposed to the Western culture way too much.
Yeah. How so?
Movies, cinema. Most of my language, most of my conversational skills comes because I'm absorbing a lot of information from the West.
Did you mimic dialogues from Western films?
It just comes out though. It's not like I'm not going ahead and trying, oh, he said this, I'm gonna try this out. But surprisingly, my brain can just, like, if I've heard it once, I'm able to make it my own and then reflect it onto somebody else in conversation immediately.
Yeah, you're a disseminator. I love that. Like, I will hear something once and I'm like, how can I copy paste this and like make it my own? And it's amazing. That information is otherwise lying still in your head if you don't use it.
Yeah, I'm able to do that. And I'm coming back to this now, right?
Yeah.
Even when I was broke, even when I did not have money, bro, why am I smoking this? Okay, like I need to show you this. ये packet 50 रुपए का है.
Players packet. I thought this was an ice burst.
No, ये players है. इसका 50 रुपए का पैकेट है. ठीक है, अब मैं समझाता हूँ देखो अभी.
Habits from the hood don't leave you.
Yes. ये वो है. ठीक है. When I came, so my dad, alhamdulillah, he's decent. He's doing well for himself. He's a government contractor. He's a road contractor. But when I left without telling my parents.
You left home in Mangalore at what age?
I left when I was 20. Telling my mom. So I was doing law school. So when I quit engineering, so I quit engineering. I didn't even quit. I just didn't go. Yeah. I just stopped showing up. Like I was in a village. My dad threw me in a village and he said, you're going to do engineering here. And this was the first year's final exams. And I was walking towards the examination. I'm very dramatic. I genuinely believe I'm just writing a story for myself one day to give a TED talk.
Yeah.
Right? In my head.
TED वालों यार ये तो ऐसे ही आ जाएंगे. अभी.
हाँ. तो in my head that's what I'm doing. But for some reason I knew as I was walking there, this is not what my life is going to look like.
Yeah.
This is not where I see myself going. And I just decided I had a bullet back then because my dad bribed me. My dad is like, go to this village and study. Ye le paisa, ye le.
Wake up, Sid.
Right? And I just packed up my bags and I came back to my entrepreneurial journey actually started much earlier. But that was my first decision that I took that actually altered the entire course of my life. And I came back to my hometown. I started a kitchen called Mota Bhai. So I used to run a night kitchen because at this point when I came back, I knew my dad's not going to give me money.
Yeah.
I'm fucked. But
because you weren't following his ways.
No, I wasn't. And I was a fucking disappointment. I was a horrible, horrible teenager. I was pissing people off. I was rude. I was not rude. I was rude. I was just fucking with people.
As a joke, or were you just angry? Like
I was very angry. I was that guy who would probably sleep with your girlfriend just to spite you.
Yeah.
I mean, weird coming from a woman.
I'm gay.
Like, no, but I was very angry as a kid. I genuinely believed my parents didn't love me. I genuinely believe that the world's after me.
Right.
I genuinely believe these things, and I said it's me against the world, and I just said, "Oh, you want?" So the thing was, you want me to be an asshole? I will show you what an asshole is. And I turned into this. I turned into the largest prick. Like if I would have met the 17-year-old me, I would punch him in the face.
Yeah. क्या कर रहा है हुसड़ी के इस तरह
Yeah,
से?
like but he kind of he. You can't really blame him a
Yeah.
lot. It was so much situation. It was, I'll tell you what it was. I never stayed in a city for more than a year, 2 years, right?
You had no roots.
Number one, I didn't have roots, but I never faced my consequences of my actions. So
you-
when I was in Mangalore I was in Mangalore for 5 years. So my actions were still stupid. But till the age of 15, I'd never faced consequences for my actions.
Because you would just move.
You just move, right? So when I stayed back, I started getting that.
I am in that phase now. I can feel. just yeah.
And then I started realizing, you know, when you spend like a year blaming everybody else, and then you just sit down and be like, everybody can't be wrong.
हाँ.
Like हाँ ठीक है, like वो गलत है, वो गलत है, वो गलत, सब गलत है. How can everybody, including your friends, your family, your schools, your colleges, everybody think you're an asshole? Are you an asshole? And that just, I went into depression, and not the kind of depression that you would see. I was the loud, depressed person.
Yeah, and depression manifests in many ways, by the way. Manifests in anger, rage, manifests in cold behavior that you can't really find the origin of.
Yeah, so and it's a lot to deal with, and I started Night Kitchen. I used to run but I still cared because the roots of me was someone who's very caring. I loved giving back. I'm somebody who actually loves embracing, taking care of people, and that part of me was just craving to come out. And I started an NGO that changed my life. I used to do law school in the afternoon. In the morning, law school. I had an NGO in the evening that I used to run. And then night, I used to feed myself with the kitchen. So we used to run the night kitchen. It was called Mota Bhai. We used to sell biryani. So I think we did this for a couple of months. And the last month, I remember this was one of the best experiences in my life. Ramzan, I had put up a stall outside a mosque. And I was selling biryani. Like I'm talking full white kurta pajama, screaming biryani, 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 biryani.
Right.
Ek soga biryani. That the whole shebang, right? I had that entire persona.
That was so fun.
It was insane. And it was your proper, like, you know, those Muhammad Ali Road types. I was there. I had set up my stall. I was selling the biryani. I was having conversation with the locals. And the whole thing. And that was when the first time I made real money. Like real. Like before this, I made little money. Like I would sell tickets in black.
Back then, that was still a thing.
Yeah, that back then it was still a thing. Like I was, and when I say, I was talking about parties.
Yeah.
Like, you know, those expensive concerts
Yes,
that you
yes,
can't
yes.
get access to. I would have settings with the Watchman.
This is like, we're talking like pre-David Guetta era. David Guetta was the first guy who came onto the electronic music scene in India. Yes.
Yeah, so those kind of parties, I would have like settings, and then those used to have those physical things which you had to carry, and you would, some shit. So I would have, so he would just slip me back one of the things, and I would just resell it. So I've done that. I've done weird shit. Like I've done door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
That is all because till 10th grade, I was rich.
Okay. Then what happened?
My dad was in Dubai with a very high-paying job, and then my dad decided to be an entrepreneur.
Oh shit. It's like his ab main hero banunga moment.
So he came back to India and realized, why the fuck am I giving this kid so much money? Because in 10th grade, I had a scooter, I had a BlackBerry Bold, and I had pocket money that was about 6 grand back then.
Yeah.
6,000 rupees a month. On what?
Yeah, what do you want to spend it on? Kitni toffee
10th
chocolate
grade.
khayega?
No, 10th grade was not that bad. 16-year-olds have a lot of needs, but still. I mean, किसी को तो टॉफी खिलाना पड़ता है ना.
My God. Based on the context of this conversation, what I know about you and myself, it's so funny that we're referring to किसी को टॉफी खिलाने जा रहा हूँ मैं. Yeah. But so you've seen both prosperity and poverty.
Yes, I've
Simply
seen both.
put.
So when he came back, he decided to put all of his money in his business, in his construction company, and then he was like, bro, I'm broke. And he decided to go broke when I was going to college. And that's when you actually fucking need money.
Yes.
Like 11th grade, 12th grade first is college, right? This is the first time you have independence. And you need to take them bitches outside.
That's okay. That's okay. We're referring to the female version of dogs here.
And I'm talking with love, right? I'm talking
Yes,
with love.
yes.
I'm talking with affection, bro.
Okay.
And you need to make money, and that's when I started hustling, and that's when I started like it was all out of the need, the fact that I had this beautiful girlfriend. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I have had the pleasure.
And I was like, bro, खर्चा तो निकालना पड़ेगा. बाप तो पैसा नहीं दे रहा है.
Yeah.
But until 10th grade, you've taken care of people because like you had the money. Now you can't tell people बाप गरीब है. Like
Too real.
Too real. Like you can't do that shit, right?
Yeah.
As a kid, because you have to maintain the status quo.
Yeah, because once you become the kind of the benefactor in your friends as someone whose pockets are loaded,
You can't go back.
Yeah, and it's weird because back then you don't have those grand notions of मैं individual हूँ या मैं startup singling नहीं कर सकता because you're in that system where that is the only thing you can do.
Yeah, and that happened, and that became like a trigger to my hustle culture, where I was standing outside colleges taking hafta money for like.
How was door-to-door sales like? I've done bartending and waitressing work.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Door-to-door sales is horrible.
Even so, this is again 2012, 2010, 13, 10.
Like तुमको तुम्हारी औकात जानना है ना, door-to-door sales करो.
That's for everyone, by the way. That's still something people can do.
It is real. Like you will be humbled. And I think a lot of us need to be humbled. A lot of us need, because we have this perception about who we are, and it'll break. It's an equivalent to cold calls.
Yeah, but worse because you physically face the rejection.
Like ये तुम्हारा आवाज को रिजेक्ट कर रहा है, वो तेरे को दरवाजा देख के तेरा चेहरे को रिजेक्ट कर रहा है. Like तुम समझ रहे हो, like physically rejecting you, right? And all of this happened, and then I started the kitchen. I made really good money, and when I said really good money, I made like 10-15 grand. And that was like a lot. So me and the boys were like, we have 15,000. क्या करें 15,000 का? Let's go to Bangalore. And that was my first trip to Bangalore. Because we're like, Bangalore जाएगा, sex करेगा. What else is life, right?
वो होता ही है.
This conversation took a turn.
No, bro, I love this. I love this because people don't realize like it's all. I see a lot of young kids on Twitter being like, I'm 16, coder, building this. मैं 16 का था. All I could think about was how can I hook up?
Yeah, that's all.
Like मतलब किस तरह से?
I think I'm 25. I still sometimes think about that.
Yeah, and
but
you should.
in a very meta sense, how can I hook up forever?
Yeah, and I mean, in business we build systems. I think you want to have the same. But it's just weird. Like people deny these urges, but they very much exist. And I love that you said that कि सही में 16 साल का लड़का ये करना चाहता है और लड़की भी.
Bro, why? Who wouldn't? We are meant to do only two things. We are meant to eat, and like our DNA is programmed to like fucking reproduce and procreate, and that comes out. And bro, you're talking about a kid filled with hormones, doesn't understand what the fuck is happening with his body, who's weird, confused, insecure, everything, and he finally is like, I wish a girl would touch me anywhere. Right? And you hear stories.
Yeah.
You hear like these guys who went to Bangalore and it's all bullshit. Like
झूठे मैंने वहाँ गया और like एक 25 साल की लड़की आई, तू कितना cute है, and then she took me and bro फिर ऐसा हुआ. Fake stories.
But in your head you're like, what if?
Yeah.
तो 15,000 लेके we went to Bangalore sex करने के लिए. Like generally we went to party.
Yeah.
And I met this guy.
Yeah. And you had sex with him?
I wish. No. So his name is Karthik. If you guys you can Google him. So he was the founder of this thing called Momo, Moemoe. Okay, it's a fintech company which was there, which got acquired by Snapdeal for about $12-18 million.
That's crazy.
Okay, this was back in 2014. Okay, 2014, 2015. Right? And I'm in a party, I'm having a baller fucking time. Like I'm just killing it. And any advice to anyone who wants to like go out and pick up women? Forget about picking up women, go and have a good time.
Yeah. Whatever
and you will
makes you
attract
happy.
people, and you will attract them because people want to be associated with people who have fun. So when you are having fun, by association, people want to approach you.
It's very intuitive. Most people don't know this. Most people think that you have to pander, parade, peacock, pretend that you're like the hottest shit. And
As of today, I never approach women anymore.
yeah,
I'll be the first guy dancing at the center of a fucking club because I truly enjoy it. And every bartender, and I don't even drink.
yeah.
So the DJ knows me, the bartender knows me. They are having a baller time behind, and I go alone. By the way, I party alone.
Yeah.
I don't like going with people.
Yeah.
I love going out alone.
You like representing yourself only.
I don't like the hassle of dealing with people because you have this notion that you go out with Saad, you have a good time, had become such a thing between the circles that now it became your responsibility for other people to have a good time.
That's so. No one talks about this. I love that we're discussing this, despite the fact that you have like this business, right, and all of that. This is something that when you go out with a group, there is this notion कि यार अब हम सारे साथ में ही मजे करेंगे. There are punishments for breaking from the group because you're leaving your socially incompetent friends alone to go.
You want to call this that?
No, not my friends, not my friends. My friends are all very socially competent, all of them.
I've seen your circles,
all of them, right? Which is great because हमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं होती. Like everyone will go and like do their own thing and come back and like join. You know, like my friends in parties are like islands that I can come and park and then just do my own thing, right? I'm just saying that there's this kind of sick vampirish person, and I don't blame them. I have empathy for them that exists. That like, please, मेरे को अकेला मत छोड़ना because I can't
feels
deal.
too much of a fucking responsibility.
Yeah.
Even sometimes taking women out.
Yeah.
Women, I can't deal with it. They get drunk. You're responsible for that. I like women who are fucking independent. I have a beast of a friend called Michelle who's coming down. She's from Faridabad.
Yes.
She's in Bangalore. Beast. Like उसको अगर कुछ हो जाए वो चप्पल निकाल के मार दे किसी को. She's a beast. Like she doesn't need anyone to take care of her. I love her. She will never get drunk and fall off the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel responsible for her. I don't have to fucking take care of her. I love women who can do that. I love men who can fucking take care of themselves. So I have very selective people I go out partying with now.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm very much like I know these places. Which like today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
I would go to this bar in it's called Rasta, where Cornell and Ritika have these salsa night, and I would just go and salsa. Dude.
Yeah.
That's my thing, and I would go alone, and I just have a baller time, and I come back and I go to sleep.
I want to ask you, this Uzbeki Afghani woman once taught me salsa about like 4 steps roughly. That's all I can do. 2 step aage, 2 step piche. But like, there's all kinds of like stuff in there, right?
Bro. It's just having fun. I've noticed this. So So initially when I went to these salsa nights, I used to be like, oh fuck, these are professionals and they have to bullshit.
Yeah, no,
You
मैं
have
fun की
fun.
बात नहीं कर रहा. मैं कह रहा हूँ like just the intricacies.
I don't
of
know.
it, like,
I don't know the intricacies of it.
You don't know how to do
It
salsa.
just instinctively it comes to me. Like, and I'm having fun. Like, I mix it all up. I do salsa, bachata, kizombo all together in one form, and I'm just having fun, and the ladies having fun, and we're all having fun.
So you don't think about, oh my god, मैं एक bullfighter या bull rider हूँ, I need to like do everything by the book.
No fuck.
Because it's not a competition.
I can't do anything by the book. I've never gone by the book. I've never even read the book for
One of my friends, Drupad, who's an entrepreneur, he has this wonderful quote. He says, all the qualities that make you unemployable make you a ferocious entrepreneur. And I believe that.
Yeah, I'm very unemployable.
Clearly,
Nobody would hire me.
Clearly.
Nobody would fucking hire me. Like, nobody would hire me. I mean, actually, now I have a couple of offers, but then again, that comes after certain positions life. So
the good thing is, in privately, you and I are just cancelling ourselves left and right by saying the things that we say. Now we're doing that in public. So it's just like we're already ruining our opportunities. In a way, that's a blessing. That puts your back against the wall where all you can do is just do your own thing.
You know, I was almost about to get a job once.
Yeah.
Almost quit Flip.
Really? So just to give add more context, if you can disclose this on camera and on recording, Flip does a fuck ton of business all across India. It's growing, expanding rapidly. You guys don't have an iota of social media except for a website. Because
that's
you don't
irrelevant. Even the website's irrelevant. Honestly, it's just for the sake of.
Because you don't deal with the online world, right? And this is something that never goes out. You guys do very well for yourselves, but you were about to quit this.
There's a lot. Yeah, like it came to a point where. So I need the context. So I went to Bangalore, had a party, met this founder.
Yeah.
And I was a cocky 20-year-old, right? I was a
Yeah.
cocky 20-year-old who told a guy who just sold his company to Snapdeal at $18 million
Yeah.
that, hey, listen, I will help you build your business model for the next 100 crore company. And I had no fucking idea who this guy was. And he laughed on my face. And he said, okay, theek hai. I will give you a problem statement. Okay? And the problem statement was, you have to do something in public waste management, but you can't sell the dustbins. That's where the idea came to be. That's where I said, we're going to put 2 plastic bins, 1 pole and 1 placard, and I'm going to sell that placard. And we're going to make it India's first self-sustaining business model for smartphones. And that now has turned into what it is today.
And so you saw this as, you didn't go and say देश के अंदर कचरे का हाल बहुत बुरा है. You're like, this is a business idea, as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. It's an opportunity. It's something that people overlooked, and I said, fuck, this is incredible. And honestly, I was very naive. Like, if it was the same idea that came to me now, I would have rationalized myself out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because you have a deck stack now.
Yeah.
Now.
And I feel that's the worst thing that can happen to an entrepreneur, because now I have biases
About what you will do, what you won't do.
what is possible and what is not.
I see.
If you want to पहला चीज startup चूतिया चीज है इंडिया में. What most people call startups are not even startups in India. Startup का basic rule होता है disruption. आज replication हो रहा है, कुछ disrupt नहीं हो रहा. Understand the difference. Ola disrupted the transportation market. It's a fucking startup. तुम e-com replicate कर करके क्या disrupt कर रहे हो?
Then you just become a bunch of companies competing with each other.
Yes, it's everybody has their own. But for me, as a core thing, if you're not disrupting, you're not playing the game.
Right.
If you're not doing something original, if you're not building something that hasn't been built before, what I've built, there's no one in the world who's built that. And the system that I've built, no one else in the world has done that.
What do you think about this? Because this is the problem that I see a lot of young entrepreneur types, and I don't say entrepreneurs, young entrepreneur types post on Twitter. I don't have an original idea, but I want to be an entrepreneur.
Are you ready to wake up every day with cold sweats? 2 weeks a month, you are frightened. 1 week prior to paying the bills, 1 week after paying the bills because you haven't really paid the bills. Are you ready to disappoint everyone around you, question your abilities, question your leadership, question your existence, have self-worth issues, and have to pretend to have none of that in front of everyone around you? Please go ahead. And you still don't know whether you'll make it. The chances of you failing are stacked against you. The chances of you making it is stacked against you. I have kids coming up to me. I have an idea. I want to raise $1 million. Tu hai kaun chutiye?
It's like Moses parting the sea. People don't realize how hard it is.
Stories. They hear stories. I have kids who come to me. He's like, I have an idea. I'm like, okay, cool. Give me the idea. And he's like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, he's like, okay, I need help raising the money. I'm like, fair enough. I have investors. Tell me where you've reached. He's like, no, I just have an idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, have you done something towards it? So startups has something called your ideation stage. That is, you have an idea in your head. It's a vague idea. Then you work out the idea on a math. You make a team. You start building a POC model. POC is proof of concept. There's a concept. You need to prove that.
Right.
Then you pilot it. Then you do your pre-seed. Then you have your seed. And there's actual legitimate steps that you
It's kind of like if you build a rocket, you want a prototype model.
Yes. Right? These kids think they can go from zero. I mean, I also thought. I thought I would be in a fucking Rolls Royce in 6 months. Thank God for that attitude. I'm glad I had that attitude, because if it wasn't for that naivety, I would never have moved forward.
Yeah, if you're too much in your head at that point and you don't have that stupid rebellious courage and just blind ignorance, you can't make it.
But you need to rationalize at some point. I was the irrational dreamer, but I had a very rational partner.
Yeah. What do you think about this? I mean, I just want you to opine on like the content creation business. I know I know you're not in it, but I often see that people almost always have co-founders, or ये जो पूरा scene, again based on my vicarious observation of it, takes a lot of time to find a co-founder, to make them stay. Do you think the same can be replicated in a media business?
Can be. Approach is wrong.
What's the approach?
I have a lot of co-founders. The difference in approach is you're looking for perfection, which doesn't exist. You need to build them. When I started out, the idea was mine, right? And I know what so most people are not even aware of what they can or cannot do, and they're so self-obsessed that they think they can do everything or they have to do everything, which is bullshit. Find the people who are right to do it. And they're so scared of letting go of a part of the company.
Yeah.
Like I started out, I brought in Rahim. I brought in actually 2 more guys who it didn't really work out with, but they left midway, and then Rahim came on board.
Rahim is a co-founder.
Rahim is
in Flip.
No, in Flip, yeah. He came in as the marketing guy for 5%. Right now, he owns as much shares as me, and he's the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's more competent than me. He's not the dreamer, but he's the realist achiever. If it was up to me, I would have burnt all the money that came to me.
Yeah.
He's the guy. I am the founder of the company. I need to call him for a fucking expense. For
That's
every
humility right there.
It's not humility. It's fucking... You need that, man. Otherwise, I would burn it to the ground. Every person like me needs someone like Rahim.
Someone who holds the reins.
Yeah, and he drives me fucking crazy. I can't stand him 90% of the time. Like, I cannot... He knows this. I love you, man. But I can't stand him 90% of the time because...
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, I have a meeting. I need you to open the expense account for this month.
Yeah.
He's like, why? Bhai, mera company hai. And at that moment, I get angry.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that he's there.
Yeah. Happy someone's...
There to stop my nonsense 90% of the time.
Yeah, someone's covering your blind side.
Completely, man. And you need that. And the idea that I'm able... Like, technical soundness.
Right.
I know guys who are... like, the Karan, he had this company 2 years before I even came in. The company had no sales.
Karan is the other co-founder.
The other co-founder of another company, Catalyst.
Yeah.
So those guys, 2 years before me, they were already running the company, but they hadn't made a sale. The most technically sound, like आज I can tell them turbine बनाना है, उनको पता है कौन सा component किधर जाएगा, कितने में खरीदना है, क्या बनाएगा. उसके साथ business model खाक नहीं मालूम. They're innovators.
Yeah.
Now, if they are obsessed, 2 years ho gaya, I have already built a product, I can't bring in a co-founder. Bullshit. I bring a certain value because it comes easy to me. Business comes easy to me naturally. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate business. मैं activist इंसान है.
Huh.
But it comes easily, it comes naturally to me. I understand businesses, I understand brands, I understand psychology of these corporations. And I came in, now I have as much shares as those guys. And I came in 2 years after they had actually built the company.
Right.
And that has to happen. You can't keep the pie to yourself.
Saad, we're the same age. I want to ask you a question about how do you decide what information to reveal? Because you're sitting on some private information that only the proprietor should know, right? And what information to withhold?
If it's hurting me, I don't give a fuck. If it's hurting the people around me, it's not my thing to say.
But that's feedback, no? Like, I'm just saying.
Information.
Information
can hurt people. What you say will hurt people. It'll affect your business. If it's affecting the business in terms of it affecting everyone, my partners, I don't have a right to say that.
You'll keep it private.
If it's only affecting me, gaand mara hai. I'll go to war because the only one at stake is me.
Right.
मैं 2 गद्दे में सो जाऊंगा, मेरे को फर्क ना पड़ेगा. But now that it still amuses me that people would give up on their dreams to follow my dream. So don't you think I'm responsible to not fuck that up for someone?
That's true.
Right? Like,
but these things are not intuitive. Like, let's talk about that. Like, your 20-year-old self, 17-year-old self did not know that you'd be doing this. Right? You had like a vague inkling कि मुझे कुछ बड़ा करना है, मेरे को ये नहीं करना है. Going back to your life in Bangalore, I don't want to do this. I
always knew I'm going to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, like
you know what I mean? Like, तेरे को भी मालूम रहेगा. Like, तू स्कूल में था, you were like, bro,
बैंड से मैं फाड़ूंगा. मेरे को पता था.
I just didn't know what.
Yeah. But you don't know like how it shapes up. Like, you have this notion कि मैं ऐसा करूँगा left, like मैं Bangalore जाऊँगा इस चीज़ को करने के लिए, but then I found something else.
Bro, I'm in Bombay right now.
Yeah, no, I'm saying your story. You went to Bangalore for the purposes of meeting women. You found someone instead.
This is where taking the opportunities. Most people I've noticed, and you know how weird this is, and this is surprisingly weird. People think that if I hear this a lot, bro. I didn't have the right opportunities. If I had it, I would have done the same thing. Come join me. No, but
हाँ वो सब वही procrastination वाला लोड़ा लस्सन है.
no, this that reason. Nahi, bro. It has to come. Like I don't know any other way.
Yeah.
Like when I went from that moment when I discussed that idea with this guy, which was a joke.
Yes.
And I came back to my hometown to my senses. I had a whiteboard in my car working out the math and going into presenting in that whiteboard to Rahim. Like I met Rahim outside a bar when he had come down for vacations from Saudi. Because he just finished his BCom and now he was flying down to Singapore because he had his MBA.
Yeah.
And outside a bar, this was the first day he came back to Bangalore after 3 years. And I sat out, I saw him and I just ran to him like, I have to show you something.
You did not know this guy?
I knew him,
Okay.
but I knew him like back in school, college, whatever. I just liked him. I don't, and this is where the whole co-founder thing comes. Like you're looking for technicalities or sound or whatever. No, I look for trust. I look for only two things. Can I trust him? Is he willing to learn? Because nobody is ever fucking competent. You learn the process.
Yeah.
You learn on the go. You figure it out. He didn't know half the shit that he's doing today. I didn't know. Bro, I left another... Pitched him on a whiteboard outside a bar. His girlfriend's waiting inside. Who is now his fiance. That's the reason I can say it out loud. Okay? And I'm standing outside. I pitched it to him. I said, I'm leaving to Bangalore. Because I can't do this here. Get out of your city. It doesn't matter. Get out of your safe zone, man. And he left his scholarship, a fully paid scholarship, to a Singapore MBA college to come work on a dustbin with me in Bangalore. He went back inside, met his girlfriend, met me the next day. And I said, he's like, I have 20 days in Bangalore. I will dedicate the next 18 days to you. And we left to Bangalore. Sounds so much like a movie. Left to Bangalore. And 2-3 months. And when I went to Bangalore, he then asked me, what do you have? I had a sketch on a fucking tissue paper. Of what
And you're not an artist?
No, I'm horrible at this. It's horrible. It was very ugly. He has a picture of it somewhere. I wish I can find it.
Yeah.
But I did not know what a business model is. I did not know what is a deck. I did not know how to make a proposal. I did not know how to approach people. I did not know Lauda. I was supposed to now take this to the... Let me explain the incompetence that I was working with. I'm a 22-year-old in a city that I have been once because मेरे को sex करने का था. ठीक है?
बड़े शहर में जाके.
Okay. Sitting with दो चड्डी because औकात नहीं है. With no food. 3,000 rent है जो pay करना हमें नहीं मालूम कैसे है. That is the reason why I shifted to players because I used to smoke Kings and after I went there I was like औकात ना है तो players.
I've seen many men and I think there's nothing wrong with smoking BDs when you can't smoke cigarettes.
हाँ, but then it becomes like अभी तो cigarette मार सकते हैं मगर फिर भी बीड़ी मार रहे हैं. Then I can't help it.
You can't shake off the ghetto.
I can't.
नहीं कर सकते कुछ भी.
Okay, and I had to now understand the complexity of the project. It's a public-private partnership. I need to convince a city like Bangalore, corporation, a huge corporations, with commissioners, every department. Now, our dustbin has an advertising board. So, it's a solid waste management department and an advertising department which have never met in their life.
Yeah.
I have to get them to work together because a kid who is 22-year-old believes that advertising board should have dustbins. And now, understand this, it's illegal. Because you're not supposed to advertise on the footpath.
That's public space.
It's a public... You cannot disrupt public path of way. So now, as a 22-year-old who doesn't know how to make a fucking proposal, like an email, I couldn't write a fucking email to save my life, has to now change the bylaws of a fucking city in order to accommodate something that has never been done before, never been built before, and for a corporation to trust us to be able to execute it and operate it for the next 7 years. अब बताओ.
आदमी बोलेगा बाय मैं जा रहा हूँ घर. Any rational person would do it. Have you watched Narcos Mexico? You would love it. I think it's very much similar to your story. There's this young policeman. He figures out there's an opportunity in the city. His boss is losing money. He's like, why don't I go there? And everyone laughs at him. But he's smart. He's just never been used. So he gets all of the plaza bosses who sell marijuana to combine and make a conglomerate. And then he calls his boss that I've done this for you. But when everyone gathers, they raise a toast to this guy, not the boss. Boss gets pissed off. Boss like, "Terko main marunga." Guess who comes to save this guy? All the plaza bosses, because they see a winner in him. They're like, "Ye opportunity hai."
And you know what's surprising? This
Yeah.
seeing a winner thing.
Yeah.
This has happened to me.
Yeah.
This moment where the plaza bosses saved my life, right?
Yeah.
Where
Could we go into specifics?
a year and a half into the project, if you,
So by the way, sorry. Did the bylaws ever change?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Okay, that's the whole story,
Hmm.
right? Came, I got a signature, got another signature. I got the solid waste management commissioner of the solid waste management to back me up. The HMO, that's the health department, to back me up. I got the commissioner to back me up. Almost down. So you need 5 signatures to pass a project. Okay, 4 signatures down. It took me a year and a half. I'm broke. I'm in debt. I'm hungry. And I don't know how to pay rent. And I have a dream. Right? At this point, my mom is like, she doesn't believe I'm doing an internship for a law college.
Oh, she's figured it out.
Yeah, she figured it out.
She has no idea
No.
that my son
She
is
kind of had an idea,
Yeah.
but then she never kind of imposed on that. She thought I'm still doing law school.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm doing this on a side, just trying it out. But my main priority is the law school.
Mummy, weekend पे entrepreneur हूँ मैं.
Weekend for entrepreneur. My dad had no idea. My brother knew everything.
Yeah.
My brother is like, fuck college. He did MBA, he realized what a waste of fucking money. He did MBA in Canada, he's like, what a waste of money. So he's like, you do whatever the fuck you want. Amazing support of mine. 1.5 year in. You know how you say nothing's in your control?
Yeah.
तूने कुछ भी कर दे, some random effects of the world now has brought your dreams to the ground. Bangalore advertising mafia went to war with the commissioner of Bangalore BBMP.
That's crazy.
And the BBMP banned 80% of outdoor advertising. Banned outdoor advertising completely because almost all of it was illegal. 80% of it was taken down. This is 2018 it happened. You can read up about this. It's a huge thing. So from 2018 till this year, outdoor advertising did not exist in Bangalore.
No billboards.
No billboards. Only 20% of it which were legally obtained, which were paying taxes, which is a very small number, were still there. No new licenses, nothing. So 1.5 year into the project, all of a sudden, not just the fact that my project is now illegal because I can't advertise. There is no advertising industry itself.
These guys must have really hated you. I bet they still like curse you under their breath.
No, but this has nothing to do with me. I was just a byproduct of somebody else's fucking fight.
Right.
वो उनके बीच में चल रहा था. Ban
It was already happening.
Which
at
was
this
already
point.
happening.
Okay.
And by mistake, I got like because of the result that commissioner said, "Fuck all of y'all." Then all of y'all happened to be me also now.
Yeah. Caught in the crossfire.
I was just caught in the crossfire. There's nothing I could have done about it. And now I am a 22-year-old without a degree, without a job prospect, without anything. Sitting, what the fuck now? Because I've been telling everyone I am a month away from putting my dustbins in Bangalore.
Yeah.
And people ask you, and people are assholes. Because you know those people who smirk and like, क्या हुआ तेरा project का?
बहुत होता है ऐसा.
क्या हुआ?
तो वो कर नहीं रहा था जो उसका क्या हुआ है? Like they do it with this, with their chin upturned, so it just looks like they're haughty. Haughty as an HAUGHTY. Huh.
So there's this thing. I want to give a shout out to this man. Like this guy. I don't know who he was till I actually found out about him much later on. So there's this chai place I started just visiting about 2 weeks before the whole ban happened. And I became really friendly. I became very good friends with the guy who owns that place. It was a small tapri place. And I don't know, I didn't have any place to go there. I just went to that chai shop and I started crying. I'm sitting in a corner drinking chai, having a smoke. I'm crying because I don't know what to do. I don't know how, because I can't go back home because there's only so much your flatmates can cover for you.
Yeah.
And they've always been taking care of me. Arshak, Ramzi, shout out to these motherfuckers. These guys have taken care of me from the moment I've come to Bangalore. They paid my rent when I couldn't pay it. They've paid for my food when I couldn't pay it. But there's only so much they can do. And that moment I decided I'm going to quit and I'm going to get a job. And this man, he runs this hotel called Crore House. I did not know about this right now. Back then I thought he just has a tea shop. He listened to me. Cry. I didn't even realize. I just wanted to cry to somebody.
You had no one.
Because I can't cry to even my partner, right? Because if I give up there,
Yes.
I can't cry to my business partner because he's looking at me for fucking moral support.
Right.
Because if I break down, he breaks down. And he lost a lot more than I lost. He lost a scholarship. He lost potential jobs. Wasted a year and a half. I couldn't face him. I'm like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to get a job. And he's like, what's the problem? Like, I need money. I can't fucking eat food. I'm hungry. I haven't paid rent in so long. I'm in debt to everyone around me. I'm gonna get a job. And he gave me $1.5 lakh that day. No strings attached. He just handed it to me. I mean, in retrospect, now I realize he's actually very rich.
Yeah.
It made no difference to him. But
Yeah.
but why was this random chai fucking owner giving me money? Why? I met him 2 weeks ago. $1.5 lakh.
Was this the beginning of faith for you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him why. He's like, you remind me of one of my friends who's doing really well in Singapore right now. He's a big man and, somebody helped him out and I want to be that for you.
It's crazy.
And he never asked for that money back. I gave it back to him eventually. He's still somebody who's very close to me. His name is Vicky Raj. You can Google him. He's huge. He converts old heritage houses into hotels, 4-star, 5-star hotels. I did not know this. So he runs a chai shop just for the sake of it for his kid. Because his kid, he went to Bangalore to get a school admission for his kid. And he couldn't find a good chai space. So he's like, fuck it, I'll just start a chai place. And he serves chai there sometimes.
My God. It's like, you know what? The king is in disguise among the population.
Yes.
That's
He's
it.
one of those.
Yeah.
He's one of those. Very humble. Like, he's the guy, if I'm having a conversation with you, he's a big man. Like, he's very, I'm talking Rolex, BM, Mercedes, is like that.
Right.
And he will come and stand in a corner, wait for me to finish a conversation with you. So he's like, Saad, I'll go, okay. Humble to the fucking, I can't. Like, that man, Vicky Raj. Love that man.
I think there's something to be said about, when you do all of that, you want to have an idea of the pulse of the street, which is why you serve chai, because people come,
I
they
just
talk.
think he enjoys it.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any other. He's just like, I like talking to people.
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ. It's like after you've done so much, all you want to do is just retain that part of you that you lost when you first started out.
Can we get a picture of Crore House? I want you guys to see it. It's if you
Can we get a picture of Crore House? Yeah,
Crore
thank you.
House.
Crore House is where?
In Kochi.
Kochi. Crore House, Kochi, please. Thank you.
This hotel is so famous it doesn't have a name board.
Wow.
It's that. So it's a 135-year-old Jewish house.
But so the coder is Coder.
Koder.
So that's a Jewish name.
It's a Jewish
Okay.
name.
Yeah. I see. Fascinating. So he does that. He converts these old heritage homes that say Raja Maharaja homes or
and
something
go
like that.
4-star, 5-star. He used to run a circus before that. Very interesting man.
Circus.
He used to run a circus.
Bro,
He was
I
one
would
of
love
the-
to have a conversation with him as well.
Very hard, bro. Very
Yeah?
hard to reach. Very hard to reach.
That's okay.
But
That's
we'll
okay.
figure it out.
Yeah.
And he's also he it's very hard to have a conversation with him because he's very low tone and you don't understand a lot of what he's saying. You have to really lean into it. It's very difficult to have a conversation with him.
But a man with big dreams for sure. Because think about it, the trajectory, a circus. There's a circus visiting my city right now, Faridabad. I used to go
And
as
I'm
a child.
talking about like circuses which had 100 animals, like lions, tigers, and shit. And back then,
Please believe it or not, kind of go to those grand Ringling Brothers wala
And then that
circus.
became illegal, right? Like you can't really have those animals and all. So they had to give it back to the government.
Yeah.
And the government killed all of those animals because government never knew how to take care of these. You know, circuses took better care of their fucking animals than the government ever could.
Really?
Because it's their bread and fucking butter. It's their animals.
Right.
When you listen to Vicky tells me about this. Like he still like talks about his animals. He talks about his lions and his tigers and all of that, and how they took care of them because they were family. They were bread and butter. And the circus stories are insane. If I get a chance, I'll put you in front of it.
That's crazy. I mean, you would also have like a bunch of those, the shortest man in the world, tallest man in the world. You know, like
all of that.
the elephant who does juggling, all that stuff. That's crazy.
And he sat with the top politicians because of the circus rig. I don't know how. I don't know what that entire industry is. It's completely disappeared right now. But back then, entertainment was this.
So we have, I mean, the big circus industry is pretty much gone. Even from the US, I attended a TED talk at Harvard where the last circus announcer of this century, I believe, was giving a TED talk, and he was saying, you know, wo kis tarah se karta hai, kya karta hai. But now we just have those like vernacular tier 2 India visiting circuses. They would never come to Delhi, but they still come to Faridabad. Like every year they come once. They
smaller circuses.
Yeah, smaller circuses. They still have posters that have like neon pink and neon green to signify that circus is in town. And they do 3 shows a day. And they set up a tent. There's plastic chairs. Niche mitti ho rahi hoti hai. And so no one from my class would ever go. When I say class, I mean like from what
privilege.
But I always go. Because I love that. What I love the most is being in these places where I don't belong. Sitting there, observing, enjoying myself, and just losing a track of time. These circuses also have magicians, by the way, trapeze artists, and a bunch of other cool stuff. Very fascinating. So anyway, back to the story. So this guy helps you out.
Yeah, I was actually going to quit and get a job because I didn't fucking pay for it. Later, I found out how rich this motherfucker is. But even back then, like and I realized, you know what I realized? Everything I was taught was wrong. About don't trust strangers. Be careful, he's trying to fuck you over. Like, you know how when we are brought up in a society where your parents are telling you, you know, be careful, everybody's. Because even when I started doing this and they started seeing a little success, the first thing they told me is be careful, people will try to cut you off. And that somehow poisoned your mind and you started believing that. Which is what most people do. I didn't, but most people do. I did, but most people do. And I thank God I did, because then I would never be able to make the relationships that I make. Yeah, but would you not say that it's tough to reprogram yourself? You have to have hard. You have to have incredible multiple physical evidences of people doing the opposite of what your parents told you to finally believe that what they've told you is wrong. It's mostly your actions. It's not about the others. The others are never in the equation. Which is why you asked me, what do you think about Gary Vee and kindness and all of that? Yes. It's never about, like, that's what I'm telling you, know. It's never about the second person. It's never about you. It's how I treat you. Yeah. You know, you would make a killing in the hospitality industry. I've always maintained this. I said this in Goa. I'm saying it again. Some people are just, for example, you know, some people have big homes, but they're inhospitable. Their architecture, their chairs are the hospitality. Some people are paupers, fakirs, but their entire being is hospitable. Yeah. So thank God for that, man. Otherwise, I would have been a fucking job. A few months later, raised $1 million. Incredible. A few months later. Finally, the clickbait I was waiting for. Paise ki baat. I raised $1 million. I say I, but it's actually a we. And we raised $1 million. And fuck, man. Like, can you imagine $1 million? That's 7 crores. For a kid who couldn't pay 3,000 rupees rent. Yeah, so this happened. You got the first loan and then you strategically put it in different places. No loans. No, you got this money from this guy and then you put it in different places to... My first investor, surprisingly, was my uncle. And was my brother. They saw potential in you finally. So my brother... So you have to build a prototype. Right? So I needed money to build the prototype. I asked my brother, I'm like, okay, do you have... Like, then he gave me like about 2.5 lakhs. We built our first model, which was fuck all. We went ahead, showed that to the corporation. This is what we're trying to build. They're like, make a better one. Then I was like, where to fucking get the money? Who the fuck will trust me? And surprisingly, the last person I ever thought, the moment I said, hey, I have an idea, and he's like, I don't need to hear it. Tell me what you need.
It's crazy.
And he became a believer. And surprisingly, apparently, he was always a believer.
It
He's
just
like, I knew that you would do something. I just want to be a part of it. I'm like, fuck, okay, cool.
the opportunity never crossed either of you that ऐसा हम collaborate करेंगे मैं और मेरा चाचा है ताऊ.
Yeah, because it was not Chacha, sorry, Mama. My
Mama.
And my mom's second cousin.
Okay, so not even your real mama.
No, not my mama. My mom, like my mom's second cousin.
Yeah, her cousin. Yeah,
Her
yeah,
cousin.
Yeah.
And that family I couldn't
yeah.
sometimes like be on the same level with. For the lack
You
of
had
a better
differences.
word.
That's okay. Yeah,
Had a
that's
lot
okay.
of
किसी का भी
differences.
होता है हाँ.
But surprisingly, they always kind of said Saad is going to make it, and which was very weird after all the disappointments that I've put everyone through.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just believe in you, and he believed in me. Right now, he owns a part of my company, which is worth a lot more than he ever put in.
Yeah.
Like he had an offer that almost 20x what his initial capital was.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Then-
Cash cow right here.
And he had an offer recently to buy out. He said, "Fuck no."
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So and yeah, then we went to Goa, and this is the funny thing. Went to Goa, and you know when you've been trying to build something for like so long, it's 3 years, 4 years I've put in, 3 years at this point now, right? Like a year and a half, 2.5 years. So a year and a half, and after that another year. Now I've moved to Goa, fucking another unfamiliar territory, because now the investor has strong roots in Goa. So he's like, we'll try there. We'll try to get the pilot done there and use this as a showcase to get all the other cities. A year into Goa, and we finally get the contract. Panjim City is under us.
Yeah, still is.
Yeah, still is.
We've seen. That's where we met.
Yeah. And
अच्छा तभी you call us to your territory कि पंजिम में मिलते हैं, not Mapusa, not Arambol, where all the hippies live. Let's be in Panjim.
you know what's the funny thing?
Yeah.
You know when you've built up a moment in your entire life, you're like, that commissioner, like I'm standing there as he signs the contract that officially gives me the right to commercial land of the government for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to feel so amazing.
Felt nothing?
Nothing.
Yeah.
In a moment, I'm just like, that's it?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But that's the beauty of goals. If you felt everything, you'd be satisfied and it'd end there.
Felt nothing. And that's when I realized, holy fuck, I need to change my priorities. Because till then, it was about proving other people wrong. By that point, I'd already proven enough people wrong. That negative motivation can only get you so far. Because then what happens is when people start saying, fuck Saad, you're amazing, you don't know how to deal with that.
Right.
You're confused because now you don't have trust.
Which is why you often bring up rejection a lot when we talk.
Yeah.
When people don't trust you, when people don't believe in you, when people shit on you.
It's easier. It's an easier fuel to kind of burn in, right? And I thought this is it, like I've made it. And then I realized, holy fuck, no. Things start getting worse. Now it's time to install. Now you're talking about, you know how people complain about, oh, ye galat hai, ye galat hai, ye galat hai. I wish everybody could just, एक project कर दे India में. On ground.
गांड में से blood आ जाएगा.
Fuck हो जाएगा bro. Locals, outsiders, you have 100 fucking issues that come in, and you're just sitting there and you're just like, गांड लग रही है bro. And this is the moment, right, where we had a fuck up with the machines. There was a small measurement issue, and what is the issue? Yeah, so we fucked up with the measurements. And the machines were not fitting.
Right.
And that was 1/3 of our entire investment that would have gone down the drain.
How do you fix that?
You can't. And you sit there. I'll tell you how I fixed it. I sat and cried. Second time I cried. I sat, looked at a unit that is not being able to fit. there's a lot of other disputes that were happening at that point, which I can't really talk about. But
Yeah.
it's hard, right? Disputes because two of my companies are dealing with each other, and I'm in the crossfire of both. Because the manufacturing company is different. That's my company. The main company is also my company, but they're dealing with that, and it's just reflecting off. They're just bouncing off. Like, you don't do this, we don't do this. We don't do this, you don't do this. But I'm at the crossfire of both.
Right.
Because I'm just sitting there and I'm crying because I can see 4 years of my work just
Down the drain.
and I'm crying because for the first time I'm helpless. I'm helpless to the point where, normally for someone like me, I know if something fucks up, I have plan A, B, C, D, E. Generally, to a large extent, I do. If something goes wrong, immediately my brain works really fast in the sense of where I'm able to contemplate what to do next. At that moment, I didn't know what to do next. You know who came through?
Cool.
The boy who did not get his salary the last month. This is why I do what I do. Razman, I want to fucking love you, man. I'm crying because I'm not able to breathe. Because I see everything going down. And he comes to me. I'm feeling, already I can't look at him because I haven't paid him. And
It's embarrassing.
it's embarrassing. Right? And he looks at me and he's like, I am here. We are all here. We are not going to go till it's all done. We will figure out a way. They figured it out. Fucking Indian jugaad. Nut bolts jugaad. Like, it's all jugaad. Like, fuck. Infra was back up. It had its issues. It had its problems. It was a learning curve like no other. Thank fucking God we did a smaller city. All happens for a good reason. If this was Bangalore, fuck, I would be fucked.
Yeah.
Or a Bombay, wouldn't be able to recover. I cried, and this boy who doesn't need to be there, it's his job.
Right. He's paid to do
He's paid.
stuff. That's it.
He's
Yeah.
staying overnights, adjusting in a house where we are all figuring it out. He has no benefit of me actually making it or not directly.
Yeah.
He brought the team together when the founders, and this is where the team comes important, when the founders were disputing, where all the founders are disputing as to what the next step is. Each and every one of them, all my four, they're all quarreling. Because at this point, तूने किया, right? The boys who finally came through are the boys who believed in you. And these are not the guys who work for your salary. तुम्हारी सैलरी की औकात ना है उनको खरीदने के लिए. They are there because of you. And only because of you. They are not there because they are going to benefit because they don't have shares.
Yeah.
They don't have any cut in the fucking profits. They don't need to go out of their fucking way. But they do. Because they believe in you. That is fucking dangerous.
You can't buy that with money.
You cannot buy that with money. No amount of money can ever buy that.
It's like saying the 300 from Sparta versus the army of Xerxes.
Yeah, and even now, like I'm gonna name 4 guys who I'm eternally grateful for, right? Alfaz, who's our designer. Naushad, head designer. Now he handles everything operationally. Razman, and you have Karan Vikram, who are the founders. Man, these guys have gone above and beyond, and that's when I realized it's not about the sign on the signature, or the contracts or anything. It's about them. It's about building something because it's no more about me now.
Yeah, that's when it stopped becoming Saad trying to prove that he's great, and like it's just like, "Arey yaar, ye log mere liye, they're ready to fight a war for
Fuck yeah, man.
for you and with you, standing right next to you." And this is something that people don't expect. Leaders are always supposed to be seen as strong all the time, that they're unbreakable, and when they break, you're always surprised that you're not hanging from a cliff because there's a firm ground underneath you, and you only realize that when you fall, and कोई और तरीका नहीं है ना. Say you're invincible, you would never know the other way, because now you can break, you're fragile, you value all of these people 10x more. I had to take a sabbatical from all content because absurd shit went down in my life and I was fucked. My team was like, we will do whatever it takes. We will sift content from all the years we've done stuff, but we will keep uploading every single day. Don't you worry. We will take care of everything. These kids are 19. I'm 23, 24, almost on the verge of like, fuck all of this. I will get a writing job. I will... but they help us sail through. And I don't know what to say. It's just, you have to submit your ego at that point. Like, am I gone? So, I feel that. Like, not on that scale where there are governments and literal...
No, but it doesn't, the scale doesn't matter. जब गांड फटती है कौन सा scale? Like, let's be frank about this, because emotions and backup has no scale, bro.
Right.
Like, it happens. And I hate founders who blame their teams. Your team is a byproduct of your fucking actions, your attitude.
Right.
You want to blame somebody? That's why I like Gary. That's why I love Gary, because Gary says this. He says this most beautifully. There's a guy who's like, you know, Gary, I've been hiring people and they are not competent, and am I doing something wrong? Is it their fault, or am I? He's like, no, it's your fault.
You work for them, not the other way around. That's what he says. Yes.
And it's as true as it can be. I am the byproduct of the people who believed in me. I'm the byproduct of the chai wala giving me money when I need it.
Not really a chai wala though.
Huh?
Not really a chai wala though.
Not really, but for the context of it, it's important, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the byproduct of my founder leaving his scholarships to believe in a dream. I'm the byproduct of all the things that went wrong in my life. Like, I'm the byproduct of other co-founders fucking me over. Thank fucking God. Because it taught me so much. One of the first lessons I learned in entrepreneurship is never operate on fear. Never operate on fear.
Would you give an example? What do you mean?
So when I started out, I told you Bangalore, came with no plan, nothing. I found a local there. He said, I'm going to help you get in touch with a corporation. I said, fuck yeah. And midway to this process, he said, hey, I don't deserve the 15% you gave me. I deserve more. I said, fair enough. What do you deserve? He said, I deserve as much as you and Rahim are having. I'm like, fair enough, sure. A few weeks later, he said, hey, you don't deserve what you're getting. I should get more. I should own 50% of it. Now, I'm so scared because he has the network. And at this point, he has the blueprint to the product also.
So he has access. He can just take it somewhere else.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, 50% you, 25% me and Rahim.
You did that?
Yeah. Then he said, you don't deserve 25. I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Bro, how? That's such a slow poison drip trickling down. कि मैं एक 2 महीने का प्लान बनाता हूँ. पहले ना सिर्फ टिप डालूंगा, फिर बीच वाला, फिर पूरी गांड मार दूंगा. That's what this guy was doing.
When he said, I want 75% of the company, I said, तू जाके company बना दे.
Yeah.
Till then I was scared. After that, I didn't give a fuck. I've never given a fuck since. If anyone puts me in a position where I have to fear for a decision, the first thing I will do is I will do the complete opposite of what they want.
Right. Yeah, this G huzuri culture, jaisa aap bolo, jaisa aap karo, is...
Do not... You know what the problem is? At that moment, you're so vulnerable. You're vulnerable because you're not in your safe space. You're not in your city. You don't have the money. You don't have the backup. You don't have the network. You think he's going to do it better. No, motherfucker. You know why? He's not you. He doesn't know why. He doesn't understand the why of what you're doing. He gave up. You know what the funny thing was? The last thing he told me was a dialogue from So Cocky. I love it. I still remember it. I think it's on Facebook somewhere. He quoted Godfather. You come to my daughter's wedding, some bullshit or whatever.
Yeah, and you ask me for... you come to my daughter's wedding day and you ask me to murder a man, something like that.
And I'm like... तू बोल क्या रहा है? Like I think he was trying to be cool, but whatever. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
So, एक minute, by the way, you're out there setting up a trash business in Bangalore. He's saying कि मैं Godfather quote करूँगा.
So yeah, it was very funny. But anyway,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, time and time again, I've been put in positions, but that cemented one of my. So you need to have principles if you're doing anything.
Yeah.
Like there are rules that you need to have for yourself. You need to have principles. One of my principles is I do not operate on fear. Another one of my principles is I have no control over the outcome. Because I genuinely don't.
Right.
गवर्नमेंट ने गांड मार दी थी ब्रो. कमिश्नर और कोई और मार रहा है. मेरा 1.5 साल का काम बर्बाद हो गया. You don't have control. What can you do? You do your work, you move forward. And your respect. Like अगर मैं आज खुदा ना खास्ता मैं मर गया, none of it will stop. The world moves on.
Yeah, they'll find
You're
someone
not
else.
that fucking important. You know these people walking around like मैं ये है bro, लोग क्या कहेंगे and all of that shit. Bro, तेरी औकात मेरी उतनी नहीं है. तू क्यों उठ रहा है? What is this? I need to act a certain way. I need to be a certain way. I need to behave a certain way.
What?
I have lavender nail polish on these 2 fingers.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. Do you like cursing in Hindi more or Kannada?
हिंदी
है ना?
हाँ, मैं उर्दू बात करता हूँ ना.
हाँ.
मैं मदर टंग उर्दू.
क्योंकि मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि जब साथ हिंदी में बात करते हैं गाली गलौच में आता है यूजुअली. It's like you've figured out a part of yourself that's like I will use this for relief.
Yeah, but like क्या होता है मालूम है? Like it's Urdu is my mother tongue, right?
Yeah.
Like, I still cuss in Urdu.
Yeah.
Like depends. Like अगर मैं बैंड्रा fuck boys के साथ हूँ तो sometimes just like hey bro what the fuck. वो निकल जाता है like. But like तेरी गान और like that's दिल से आता है. That cannot go anywhere.
It's too sad. It's like okay यार, I mean I don't know, like hey bro what the fuck bro ये it's like मेरे को ऐसा लगता है all of that is happening here on the way like in the space of the mouth.
Yeah.
It should hit here,
Yeah.
here,
Urdu है.
here हर जगह.
But yeah, that's man. If I had 2 cents for anyone listening about entrepreneurship or life or whatever, be beyond yourself. Find a purpose which is bigger than you.
Right.
Because if your purpose is you, how sad is that?
Yeah, because you can't suck your own dick unless you cut out a bunch of abs and shit.
It has to be bigger than you.
Right.
You won't. And a man without purpose. Find purpose. Find something to believe in. And
Otherwise, you focus on impish pleasures, you know, and low level satisfaction because you don't have something else going for you.
And here's the thing. I will not listen to you complaining for a very simple reason. You can talk about that guy, that kid who has it all because his dad is rich. Fuck you. My dad wasn't rich. I'm here. What's stopping you?
Right. And even if someone's dad is rich, that's not stopping them
That's
either.
harder.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is for the second generation to take over the first generation businesses?
But it's just takeovers, right? I'm just saying starting something new.
First of all, they will never get an opportunity to start something new because उनका बाप छोड़ता नहीं है ना उनको. They have different battles.
Yeah.
They have very different battles.
You are a rare breed who recognizes that the usual my father has been well off, but the usual response people say is, oh, these kids have it tougher, they're on their parents' paychecks, they don't get off, and I don't blame them because they've never been taught otherwise.
You know how much easier it is for me to do stuff because I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
A person with something to lose, it's so much more harder for him to do it because if he fucks up,
Right.
he has a lot to lose. When I lose, nobody's looking anyway. I was expected to lose. So for me, it's easy to take risks. A person with privilege? Fuck no.
Right.
Fuck no. It's hard.
So what do you think they can do? Because I've kind of figured out what has to do. I constantly shit on... I have destroyed my reputation in my city completely. And my parents tacitly support what I do. But I just gets crazier and crazier because they don't like that I've ventured off all intellectual paths and I'm doing all this whack shit. But I will say this to my credit. I figured it out कि यार अगर if I keep taking the bait, कई साल बीत जाएंगे, and age is gonna pass me, and then I'm gonna have resentment because I've seen this all around me, left and right. You begin to resent your parents for you taking a bribe, and then you being okay with taking that bribe, then gets projected to your parents कि आपकी गलती थी कि मैंने कुछ ऐसा नहीं करा.
Stop blaming externals.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you come from money, doesn't matter if you don't come from money, doesn't matter. I understand shit is hard.
Yeah.
ऐसा कोई I was actually having a conversation with my friend that was like, bro, like he's like, bro, your business looks so easy. And then I realized I've done this to other businesses where I've looked at those businesses, I'm like, fuck, if I was doing that, that would be so much easier. No. Everything in life is hard.
Everything worth attaining is hard.
Everything is hard. Anything, life is hard. Life without purpose is hard. What a depressing life. Life is going to be hard irrelevant of what path you take. You have demons on all of those backgrounds.
How nice, Kiran.
Kiran, man,
wow, bro.
Shout out to Kiran.
Shout out to Kiran in the background.
But it's hard. It's going to be hard, right? Stop blaming anything else. Because the moment you go from external to internal, you will start creating actions within yourself which is able to deal with the external. But if you keep complaining about the external, you will never find solutions to it. Because in your head, there's nothing you can do. It's all happening outside.
Yeah.
So number one, stop blaming outside. Number one, clear, outright. If you see yourself even going towards that direction, ये हुआ मेरे को क्योंकि इसने तूने गांडू तूने. It's you, it's not him. It's never the other. It doesn't matter if someone, like, I've been fucked over so much, you can't even imagine. I will still fucking put faith in you tomorrow and I will start something with you tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. I know you 2 hours ago, like that. I'm that kind of guy. Second, find purpose. It doesn't matter what it is. Big, small, have something to wake up to in the morning.
Yeah.
How dull a life are you living? I see people drifting away. None of their decisions are their own decisions. Their decisions are environmental. All
Yeah. Their eyes lose their shine. There is a famous English quote that says, all men lead a life of quiet desperation.
There's another quote. Fuck, I forgot this. It's like, if you want to find dreams, go to the graveyard.
Oof.
That was one of my favorite quotes.
To top it off with the third one, there's
battle करेगा हम लोग.
तीन कर लेते हैं ना. There's also the winner's bias. So what the media does is, for every Jim Morrison, there are 1,000 failed rock stars, right? Who grew old, died, nothing happened. But the media only shows winners. So you think your odds of achieving success are disproportionately high, because no one likes to cover the guy who came 7th in class, who had the dreams of being Jim Morrison, but he was the 7th best guitarist, so nothing happened. And that's why people believe कि यार, just because मैं घर से बाहर आया हूँ, I'm semi-decent at playing the guitar or being a vocalist, I can make it. That's not true at all. The odds are always stacked against you, but that's the fun.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
This is for everyone listening. I'm running a company currently, which as a JV just for Bombay is raising upwards of $5-6 million.
How much is that in INR?
50 crores.
50 crores.
50 crores. Upwards.
Yeah. ऐसा कभी लगता है कि मैं अपने ज़बान से words बोलूँगा.
रुको. At the same time, I'm also a founder of the company, which is almost about to shut down. I'm also a founder of a company which is a dream that never took off. And I'm not talking about way back then, I'm talking about right now. I want you to understand this. I want you to understand this because it's real. It's real that I will still keep failing, that I still fail every day. A couple of hours back, I got a call from one of my partners from another company. And he's like, I don't think I can keep doing this. because that company is not doing that well. I don't know if it'll survive. I hope it does. I love that company. I put years into that company. I've burnt money, time. I don't know if it survives. I genuinely don't know. I get calls from the employees asking me whether they should start looking for other jobs. I don't know what to tell them. I also run a company that is expanding into more cities than most companies would ever do. I have dreams. Yesterday I thought of starting an NFT project.
I overheard some of the conversation with the C while I was heading out. Yeah.
I don't know. Do I know what works, what doesn't? I don't. I was broke 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Because my one company makes money where my other companies burn that money. So that money never comes to my way. When I say broke, I'm not talking broke. Hey, I don't have I have like 10,000 50,000 बैंक अकाउंट में नहीं. I'm talking broke मतलब मेरे अकाउंट में genuinely 120 रुपए बचा था.
बैंक वाला का फोन नहीं आया कि मिनिमम उससे कम हो गया है.
And at the same time, I have another company bank account which I can see reflecting cash money, which I can never touch.
That's crazy.
I'm broke to the point where I have to feed other people and I don't have lunch sometimes. Even today. I'm ready to take the sacrifice because my one company, my dream company, gives me a salary and gives me dividends, which I then use to fuel my other dreams.
It really is a funny prison of your own making. You can add gold bars. You can install a jacuzzi.
No, the reason why I'm saying this is because I want, if there is a guy who starts something and if you think that there's no one who understands, I want you to know I'm here. It's okay. It's going to get better because no one's told me this. Because, there's this perception that entrepreneurs show online where like एक click होने के बाद they will never see anything wrong. And when you look at that shit, you're like, am I doing something wrong?
Sorry, I didn't get that. What do you mean?
Businessmen build perceptions online or in social circles, honestly, because they have to.
Right?
Now, for someone like me who's not had models or role models to look up to in terms of what happens through this journey is as quaky as the moment you started. The problem is that time 1,000-2,000 नहीं थे, अभी 10-20 लाख में problems चल रहा है. Give me another year, मेरे को करोड़ों में problems चलेगा. Problems रहेगा inevitably, but no one told me that.
Right.
So I thought I was doing something wrong for a very long time, till I actually started talking to people, like actual legit businessmen who I know will not lie to me. A builder friend of mine sat me down. He's like, "Kya problem hai?" I'm like, I'm seeing success, but success is not seeing me.
Yeah.
That's my own quote.
It's funny.
But he's like, problem kya hai? He's like, I'm like, again, cash flows. I'm paper rich.
Yeah.
Cash flow is still a problem. Cash flow means you have the movement, like that, right? Because again, my own graves I've done. It's nothing to do with, like, if my partner is doing very well. Like the guy who has no other involvement in any other company, he's just with Flip. Maze kar raha hai.
It's you.
It's me because I like working on 100 other things. Right? That's my thing. That's my fetish.
I can see very strong resemblances to why you would follow Gary Vee. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
So I have those fetishes. So he's like, देखो अभी लाखों में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. देखो मैं सच बताऊं, I am in 150 crores debt. I'm like, क्या? I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, सच है bro. But I'm like, stress. Like, it's part of life. It is what it is. I'm like, मतलब like बिक नहीं रहा है, क्या करूँ मैं? बिल्डिंग है, बिक नहीं रहा है. Fair enough. And that gave me perspective. We need to talk about this. Because there is a kid somewhere out there thinking he's doing something wrong and changing his actual successful steps because he's looking at some truth on the internet, giving some truth advice about this fucking motivational nonsense that it's all fucking hunky-dory because he's not able to tell his friends and family just because he raised $1 million, how is he broke?
Yeah. It's like the illusion of success traps you into not revealing that you're actually not successful. You're suffering.
You're successful, but the successful has many metrics. Like I can have money right now. Like agar main bech diya mera shares, I have offers. I can sit with a couple of crores and camp the fuck out.
For a couple of years, yeah.
No, like
For life.
For life, I'm good.
सुन रहे
Like
हो
तुम
दोस्तों?
समझ नहीं, but तुम समझ रहे हो बात.
मैं समझ रहा हूँ.
But at the same time, मैं अभी भी सोच रहा हूँ. Like my problems have just now multiplied into lakhs versus in thousands.
Yeah. I have a song for you. We'll play it after the podcast. It's called...
Is this podcast overextended? The way we crossed over?
No. Seedhe Maut is a Delhi-based rap duo. They have a song called Doguna. कहता पहले सही था सब, अब दोगुना stress, दोगुनी खाद, दोगुना depressed, दोगुना आफाज. And it's just... in the pandemic, I'd be like frustrated with shit not working out. Smoke a cigarette, like, and like get those stress cocktails in my system. Yeah, और stress आ रहा है, और दो मेरे को और stress चाहिए. But it's weirdly motivating, no? You get like your friend with the 150 crore thing is like मजे से बैठा है. Something in his mental constitution is like, I can live with this degree of stress, and it only stacks up.
And yeah, it stacks up. It stacks. Why the fuck did the founder of CCD die? Kill himself?
Yeah.
Why? Thousands of crores. Why did he kill himself? Why are founders, entrepreneurs, artists, people with money killing themselves?
They just can't keep up. And you know, some people even go to shrinks, but they just can't find the answer.
How will a shrink relate to an entrepreneur?
There should be like a famous, like 200 crore ka entrepreneur shrink who does a psychology degree at the end. Should help? Do you think it should help?
Yes.
Yeah,
I would pay for that shrink. I would pay
Yeah.
fuck tons of money. That's what Tony Robbins fucking is. He's like the equivalent of that. That's why he makes so much money.
because he's got skin in the game. No,
Yeah.
वो suffer कर चुका है सब चीजों से.
He knows the game. He can relate and he can give the conversation.
Yeah. Not like कि deep breathing करो. अरे मादर क्या करूँ deep breathing करके मैं यार. मेरी समस्याएं और हैं.
Oh man, but I can't complain.
Yeah.
I can't complain. I'm 26. I run a company that's I never imagined would ever be valued as much as my dad. Person who decided कि तू कचरे का डब्बा बनाएगा. Told me that I'm sitting down this time. I just came from Bangalore.
Yeah.
He's like, see, my brother, your brother is doing good. He's safe. And, you know, I will get. I know, my company is going to be strong soon enough. But you know, you're the visionary.
You're the one we can't predict.
No, you are the one who's going to take us all up there.
He really said that?
He said that.
It must be a very happy moment for you.
That was weird as fuck. And I'll tell you, with my father, I've had a moment, and this is for everyone who's still shackled by their parents.
Yeah.
This is a story which you need to understand. So my dad saw a little success.
Yeah.
With the dustbin, when he saw the dustbin, when he actually saw the dustbin, it was no more kachre ka dabba. It was a smart pen. It was an engineering hardware product. It's a beautiful product, right? And he can't believe I have made this. His kid who left engineering, by the way, to sell biryani. And he's like, fuck, this guy is going to fuck all of this up. So now he decides to get involved. Because he thinks I'm going to fuck all of this up. So now he starts attending my meetings and I don't know how to tell him, please back the fuck off. Okay, and I'm like, holy fuck. And this is a part of the parental trap, right? And this, you can push it into anything else, how your parents start getting involved. I remember, this was when we were trying to raise money. And he took me to a meeting in Karnataka Bank. And instead of me pitching, he was pitching. And the Karnataka Bank manager said, fuck off. Honestly, because he doesn't know the project.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the fact that he couldn't, but he's just not aware.
It's not his language. He hasn't put skin in the game. Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
I went to SBI. And the SBI regional manager is sitting there who can approve the loan to actually sanction the project. Right? And I'm about to start, dad starts talking again. And I knew this was my chance. Like, if this is gone, this bank is gone out of my hand. I genuinely just took my dad, held him. I'm like, sit down. And I pitched in front of my dad the entire project. He came back home with a smile. He told my mom, I don't need to do this anymore.
That's crazy.
I think they just need to see the sense. Because for them, bacche hai na bro, hum log. They haven't seen us with the skin in the game. They haven't seen us how ruthless we
In the field.
Yeah, they haven't seen us in the field.
Because you also realize that when you're at home, you know, your guard is down. You're not the businessman.
Bro, मैं बच्चा हूँ bro. अभी भी मैं घर जाता हूँ. I'm like this, मम्मी ये दे दो मेरे को, मम्मी वो दे दो. मैं अभी भी बच्चा हूँ यार. Like माँ के सामने तो मैं बच्चा ही हूँ ना. Like at the end of the day, like mommy, daddy, like what the fuck will you be pretentious in front of them? You can't. So in their head, like ये चूतिया काटेगा अपना. Like these kids telling them like मेरा बाप मेरे को ये नहीं करने दे रहा क्योंकि तू चूतिया है घर पे. Like तू समझ रहा है? Like you need to show them that you can be something.
Yeah.
That you can, and the moment, I promise you, they're all just scared.
It's really that. When you were saying, you know, entrepreneurs should never operate out of fear. At a certain age, when parents see their children's prospects up in the wind, when it isn't a monthly salary, they start operating out of fear. Yeah. It's natural. खुद भी entrepreneur होंगे हालांकि.
It doesn't matter.
है ना? वो ये नहीं कि अच्छा हम like my dad will sometimes have conversations around entrepreneurship with me कि हाँ देखो business में ऐसा होता है but still like low key goat कि यार वो कुछ.
Bro उन्होंने देखा है ना हमको मुत मारते हुए.
नहीं मेरे को नहीं देगा.
Like you get contextually. Like you get.
I like how you said mut instead of mut. Yeah. Okay.
That's okay. South Indian. Yeah. But so they have seen us do too much stupid shit.
Yeah.
They have seen us not be responsible. They have bailed us out way too many times. For them to believe that their kid can do something.
Yeah.
Show them otherwise. Be responsible. घर पे थोड़ा पैसा भेजो ना.
हाँ. I think that's a great message for kids who feel like they have a bad equation with their parents. अब interpersonal चीज़ों को तुम that's something else. That's a different domain. But at least the part about growing up and feeling free कि यार there is no one controlling me. I'm completely autonomous. You need to show some skin in the game. It's the same as saying if you hire a plumber, you won't hire a plumber who like, you know, I fix nulls 3 days out of 7. 4 दिन में नहीं fix कर पाता. No one's going to hire that guy. You want to show competence. And it's weird, you know, like this is the tricky part because oftentimes here what happens is most people will go home and say मैंने आज ये बड़ा काम करा, शाबाशी दो. बड़ा काम करा, शाबाशी दो, right? But that's not where it's usually, like you said, where it'll happen on its own.
Yeah, it's a moment. Like my dad's never interfered after that.
Yeah.
And he tells the story, by the way, to people. He tells
proudly.
He loves telling the stories. Like, मेरा बेटा मेरे को नीचे बिठाया. And that's when I realized they're just parents who care. They're scared of you. They're scared about you.
Yeah.
Stop being entitled pricks who think that the world is against you. The world is not. You're a 14-year-old with hormone issues. Shut the fuck up. Okay, grow the fuck up. Be responsible. Go do something. Show them that you can do something. Build some sort of self-worth, self-awareness. Be self-aware. Most of us are not even that. We don't know how to ask the right questions.
We also lie to ourselves. We deceive ourselves and others.
Don't judge yourself with all the nonsense that comes along with you. Be okay with who you are. Be able to live with your own skin. I think a lot of entrepreneurship has to do with your ability to be you.
Yeah.
And if you're not self-aware, if you're not able to kind of dig a little deeper, you will lose yourself in the chaos of things.
Yeah. In the last year, I have confessed openly, and I love it. मैं अंदर से घटिया आदमी हूँ. घटिया in the sense कि मैं ethically नहीं. मैं अंदर से ना परवर्ट टाइप की चीज जो घटिया बातें नहीं करते जैसे कि ऐसे यार जो जैसे for me the ideal night, and I've become so okay with it. I used to feel like कि वो तमीज़ से बात करनी है. मैं दो दोस्त बैठ के बहुत ही गंदी छिछोरी बात कर रहे हैं जो जैसे सुननी भी नहीं चाहिए कि एकदम. And all I want is just that. I'm very happy admitting it. हमने पूरी conversation English में करी है. I want nothing more.
Can I?
Yeah.
On the same note, my friends and me have a joke. I have two personalities.
Yeah.
I have the 14-year-old and the 40-year-old. The 40-year-old spoke just now. I've had meetings where the 40-year-old is speaking and all of a sudden a girl walks around and I'm like, boobies. And I don't think, and I hope to God the 14-year-old doesn't go away.
I want to say one more thing. I was with Kshitij, you know, I told you about Kshitij. आज हम बैठ के बात कर रहे थे. हमने एक reel बनाई Instagram पे where You know, I'm like, bro, so, you know, we were discussing something, हम इंग्लिश में बात कर रहे हैं. मैं कहा यार बहन चे यार बड़ी महंगी जगह है यार क्या है ऐसे. और फिर ना वो गुजरी वाला जोक एक्सेंट आना शुरू हो गया. Then we made a funny reel, we joked about it. It's like, you know what, we can do this because we know what our dark side looks like.
Yeah.
We're okay with it. We're becoming so, and people who have to put on a persona all the time, they do the most perverse things because they can't integrate that dark part of themselves, the part that most people reject and ignore.
Don't ignore it.
Yeah.
Be aware. Be also. I think if I can give like a last takeaway from that entire thing, the one thing that I've learned is don't stop trying. You have no idea whether you'll win or lose, but don't stop trying because that's the end of you. The moment you stop trying is the end of you. Do not let your failures define you. And this is like a very weird thing. You remember school में अपना एक होता था like failures the stepping stone to success.
Yeah.
और फिर हम fail होने के time चप्पल मारते थे लोग हम पे. That's not how you learn, right?
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes and be aware of who you are. And at the end of the day, it's the little things, not the big things.
Yeah.
Have big goals, but celebrate little things in life.
Yeah. कि वाह यार आज मैंने समय से खाना खा लिया, कितनी बड़ी बात है.
आज मैंने बेडशीट वापस डाल दी. सोने के बाद उठ के मैंने थोड़ा मेडिटेशन कर दिया. हाय
आज दिस मॉर्निंग आई वोक अप, मैंने कहा 8 बजे उठ गया. Oh my God, मैं कॉफी बना पाऊंगा अपने लिए. Adult हो गया आज. Yes.
Just enjoy, man. Embrace life. Tell the people you love them. I think that's another thing, like telling the people you actually care about them, showing respect to people.
Yeah.
And honestly, the world deserves a little bit more credit than you give it.
That's true. I think most people forget once they are put on the spot. I am guilty of it at certain times as well, where I'm like, अरे हाँ, like हम भूल जाते हैं कि हमारे पहले पूर्वजों को जूते, चप्पल, मेहनत क्या क्या कूटना पड़ा अपने आप को कि हम यहाँ पे आके बैठ के कि यार we come from a long lineage of people. फर्क नहीं पड़ता वो कैसे लोग थे. But there's so many people who came before us.
गांधी जी ने गोली खाई so that we can speak about, oh my God, I like boobies.
Can you believe it? This freedom of speech shit. हाँ.
Privilege.
like नहीं अब the fact कि तूने टी-शर्ट पहन रखी है ना, पहले तो businessman shirt टाई में like you यहाँ तक
can't do that shit, man.
है ना, यहाँ तक. और only speak in corporate speak. We come a long way.
Also stop talking in random jargon, man. What the fuck? देख सुन, मैं धंधा करता हूँ, ठीक है, मैं स्टार्टअप स्पेस में हूँ. ये जो तुम बात कर रहे हो तुमको ना समझ आएगा, दूसरे वाले को कैसे समझ आएगा? हाँ. You're pitching in languages which the other person will never understand.
I inferred what SAAS means after a long time from Twitter. Because someone went, अच्छा. And then I made jokes about that. I was like, you know, a modern, you want a bahu who understands what sass is, but also understands what sass is. You know, but it's like a bad mental joke that doesn't really. My intent is to try. आदमी try करता है. Anyhow, bro, it's been a blast. It's been a blast having you on here.
This is great.
In this
finally
beautiful. मैंने बोला था वो हो जाएगी night. So the lights came in clutch.
Wow, 2 hours, yo.
Yeah.
And missed calls after missed calls. I love it.
Hell yes.
I love
so people, where can people find you, Saad?
Instagram,
Kafi
sexy, or Saad K Mohammad, or just like we'll make, I don't know, man. It's not that hard to find me.
Yeah, you've also put out some content, थोड़ी बहुत reels वगैरह हैं, if people want to brush through.
Also, don't put Kafi Sexy, KAFISEXY. You'll go on soft porn. My mom did that.
I like how we're ending on that.
My mom called me on because I have like a YouTube channel which I don't really upload anything. Somebody told her that there is a YouTube channel your son has, and she put Kafi Sexy. She's like, what the fuck am I seeing? And it's softcore porn. And I'm like, no, it's KAAFISEXY. I'm like, shit. And after that, I could never do this.
My God.
Yeah. So
you traumatized your mother with the hopes. अरे मैं देख तू मेरा बेटा करता क्या? On that note, it's been a blast having you on those.
Thank you so much, man. This is great.
Yeah.
Wait. What is that? Wait, I want you to do what Puneet Star does.
Really?
I want you to try. I want you to try.
I do a very good.
Because I love that. By the way, clickbait to the previous Puneet Star podcast.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Dostcast.
I do a very good Puneet Superstar impression. Is there something you want to say? I'll do a CTA as well.
No. Just go for it.
Okay. कैसे मेरे रील्स के जाने वालों, मेरा नाम है विनम्र और साद में बैठा हूँ साथ भाई के साथ, और हमने बहुत देर पॉडकास्ट करा है, बहुत मजा है. इस भाई ने सिगरेट पिया, ये कूड़ा बनाता है, वैसे भी कूड़ा आदमी है लेकिन एक्चुअली दिल का बहुत अच्छा आदमी है. मैंने बियर के अंदर हो गए 12. ओ फक, मैंने नेबरहुड रिवील कर दिया, लेकिन तो देखते रहिए गाइस.
Oh my God, man, no.
All right. See you guys. Bye bye.